I will be recording everything and posting it. And is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. And basically last week I did things with artists, and the reason why I wanted to do this is because kind of be open, kind of open about myself is I enjoy getting to know people, knowing their mindset. It's something that I literally enjoy, and it's it's somewhat interesting when you end up in a relationship because you can still be around people, but your relationships and friendships with women can be a little different. You know what I'm saying? But I still enjoy knowing what's on people's mind, their mindset, how they view life, how they live life, approaching things, their challenges, because that's why my frustration with people ends up being a certain way. But I also understand due to the fact that I like to dig deep and kind of learn because why are people the way they are? Why do they do the things they do and so forth? And so I figured that the best way to approach is, learn more about just your mindset, the challenges you go through, figuring out for career, figuring out when it comes to the dating scene, even if you're in a relationship now with quarantine, being with your significant other, looking at them all the time because, you might learn that, hey, your significant other on the call with other people, you found out that, oh, that person is the person at the job that no one liked. You kind of learn that, so it's like, oh, that type of manager at work that we don't like. So I'm gonna start out with names, and according to how my screen, I'm gonna start at top left. So we have Melody, and then introduce yourself, what you do, and I don't expect anybody to open their life story because most of you don't know each other, so I don't want to do that to you. But I am here to just have a good time with you. So Melody.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Melody. I'm from Long Beach, California, and I currently am in Houston. I've been in Houston about 2.5 years now, 5 years total in Texas. And I work bartending, serving, restaurant industry, all the things that we're no longer allowed to go enjoy. And I've just recently started my own mobile bartending business. I've been a craft bartender 14 years now. So I figured it was time to make some money off of something that I really love doing.
Awesome.
All right, Nat.
Oh, my name is Natalie. I'm a Houstonian, lived here all my life, and I'm an event coordinator. So another industry that everything is shut down, nothing is happening. All of my events for this year, for the fall, for spring, are completely canceled. So that has totally changed my life. I am a new mom, so in a way it's like a blessing. I'm like, okay, I get to like spend time with my baby now, but I do miss events and I do large events. So the future is bleak, but it's been all right.
All right, Brit.
Hey, I'm Brit Nicole. I'm a spoken word artist, community activist, I guess, village kid. And so I'm a performer. My main work is in arts programming and youth development, kind of using those two. So like all three of my jobs, which are kaput right now, involved arts and young people. I also am the current host of Lyrical Sanctuary at UWM. So I'm based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, basically lived here all my life aside from going to Parkside. And it is hard because it's one thing to perform on a screen to people, but having that, it's nothing like being in the midst of people and feeding off their energy or whatever. We're performance artists. It's what we do. It's the tools that we use to connect. And so it makes it really hard to not be able to do what you love because of said restrictions. And so that's it.
Okay.
All right, Aisha.
Hi, I am originally from Houston. I live in San Marcos, Austin area. And I work in two different spectrums, two different fields. By day, I'm a lab rat. I work in the medical field. And so everything that was bad in my life, Corona made better. which is horrible to say. Like, there's not that much traffic. Gas prices are low. I go into my 9 to 5 every day, and that's fine. And even the workload decreased. because I don't work directly with Corona. I work in women's health. And then by night, I'm a fine artist. I'm an oil painter, and I spend my nights painting. Like right now, while y'all were talking, I was working on some stuff. So yeah, that's full days. But yeah, Rona, man, that's me.
Alisa.
Hi, I'm Alisa. I'm born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I'm in the same field, just a little bit different. So during the day, I'm a special ed teacher's assistant. I work with kids with autism, 2nd through 5th grade. And then at night, I'm a dance teacher, a choreographer, an artist. So I teach at a local dance studio here, and then my mom and I work as a choreographic team, choreographing different musicals for high schools or community theaters, and then just do a lot of like personal work where just trying to create things for myself. So being an educator, like we were in school on that last Friday, and then I also work at the camp at my school, which is like a daycare, and then while I was working there after school, they're like, oh, everything's closed down. So we basically had 2 days where we could go into our school for like a short period of time and grab what we wanted to grab and then get out. So it's been interesting. So what's nice about Zoom is being a K through 12 educator, I have access to like their business plan. So unlimited minutes, unlimited people for free, being a K through 12 educator. So I've set up Zoom meetings with my my special ed kids, and that's been an interesting process because, you know, of trying to like figure things out because they're very, very literal. I work with high functioning kids, but they're like super literal, so they don't understand like they want to talk and so they talk over you. So we've had to do like a muting thing, and then teaching dance on Zoom has been a whole like figuring out thing as well. So being an educator has to go in completely digital has been like a crazy thing. That's me.
All right, enjoy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. So I work with veterans, so I get them scheduled so they can get their compensation and pension claims. And then on the side, I do hair. So I'll make wigs, braid, sew weave, whatever you want.
All right. So, okay. So, so I'm very interested in what everyone has to say. So, for a person who likes to talk, I'm gonna try to be as, we want to, try to do it a certain way so everybody get opportunity to speak. I'm not saying you gotta raise your hand, like, oh, I got something to say, but everybody get an opportunity to kind of, as we get going. And yeah, we're gonna crack jokes and y'all get laughs in, but I just want to make sure everyone gets the opportunity to, spit their facts as text everyone and things like that. So, kind of just start out. How has it been going for you? I'm gonna start out with Joy, but how has this been going for you? How's this COVID? How is that treating you? And what have you done to make the best of it? Obviously, like I said earlier, this opportunity for me to have an excuse to be lazy. No one likes a lazy man, but the world's messed up, so I can be lazy if I want to. So,
Be lazy in peace.
Yeah,
Right.
With no judgment.
Right.
it's like, oh, you ain't doing anything. Well, no one's doing anything. So,
But I mean, it has like been like a 360, well, not a 360, a 180, because like I was used to getting in a routine of like working out like every other day. I was like a social butterfly. Like, this has messed up everything. And so, but I made the best of it. So, I mean, I still talk to everybody. I text, call, and it give me more time to like focus on like my side hustles though. So I got more time where I can focus on finding vendors, making time to make wigs, try new things. So not so bad. I mean, I've gained like 6 pounds, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we do it. Don't ain't worried about that. But I will also mention, if you like to mention in it, you know, reevaluating yourself. You know, how have you been reflecting on that? And then you can kind of add it on to it. But Joy, have you been able to reevaluate some things about yourself or things you look forward to when things go back to quote unquote normal?
Yeah, it did give me a lot of time to like self-reflect, because a lot of times, because being a social butterfly also alters and take away from that time you reevaluating some things. So it put things back in perspective. So
Alisa?
Um, I've been dealing. Like I'm a hands-on teacher and I'm a hands-on person. So to do this has been hard, but definitely coping. Um, I've just kind of gotten back into my old habits of um, staying up till 3 or 4 and then waking up at 10 or 11, um, versus that like teacher schedule of waking up at 7. And I had a hard schedule because I'd wake up at 7 and then I'd
Thank you.
go to 8, and then sometimes I wouldn't go till bed till midnight because I was teaching at a studio till 10 o'clock. So I've gone through working like 12-hour days to like nothing. So not nothing, but it feels like nothing. So I'm working on a garden and just trying to find like things to keep my mind and time busy.
All right. And Aisha?
Okay, yeah, like so I said before, and I feel really bad for this because I don't want I hate that people are being put out and their lives have been interrupted. And like I said before, everything that I hated before about my life, like the traffic, because traffic is terrible in Austin, way more terrible than Houston, which if you could believe that.
Yeah.
That like it just for me, because I have a full-time job. I'm at my job for 10 hours and I go home and then I work on paintings. It just felt like my life was just this constant mundane routine of just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and being frustrated majority of my day, and then like have like my little bit of solace when I get home. So for me, Corona did this thing where, thank you. He's bringing me food. Corona did this thing for me where it just like slowed everything down and forced everybody to just sit down and shut up. And at least in my life. But on the medical side of it, it's scary. I get really frustrated about how people don't take it seriously. That's really infuriating to see. I get the people's nonchalant response to it, or just the cavalier way they look at it is the most infuriating thing ever. And just dealing with that, and just dealing with dealing with people and how they respond to it is a big thing. But the biggest thing that it completely disrupted is that I'm getting married, or supposed to be getting married in October. And that's
Congratulations.
well, thank you. But
Congratulations.
that's not happening now. Thank you. Ramone's gonna be my DJ.
hey.
But yeah, I had to make the decision that that's not gonna happen because I have no way of planning anything. Even if, which I do not believe things will go back to normal no time soon. Even if everything is back to normal in October, I still can't plan anything right now. No one has a dress. No one has this. No, like I don't have flowers, all this stuff. I can't do anything. So that is has been like where I've had several breakdowns where I'm like, we finally can do this. We finally can pay for this. This is finally happening. And then the universe said, no, sit down. So that's really infuriating. But whatever.
Well, it's funny because Aisha and I always joke about, we think people are trash, right? Like automatically before all this, people trash, they stay trash, they're forever gonna be trash, 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 trash. So we be kind of wait for the aliens to happen, but hey, you know,
Her face.
but it's such an interesting approach to how we all had plans. You know, everyone, especially going to 2020 is our year, and trust me, I can personally say like 2020 was going to be a very good year for me from just a personal standpoint, business standpoint. You know, same thing. I'm supposed to be getting the week after Asia. You know, so it's like all these different things, and every single one of my family members does not live in Texas anymore, right? So now that causes another issue, and the toughest thing is to kind of come to terms with is this is so unprecedented. It's like you just have to kind of roll with the punches. You know, this is something that's literally out of every single person's control. Now, overall, people could be more proactive than reactive, especially the people up top. But we are all in a situation where we have to, besides reevaluate ourselves, reevaluate all the things we was looking forward to, you know, things that we had planned, the things that we wanted to do. And so I can understand the frustration. And like I said, the way I looked at it was, you know, always kind of keeping a positive outlook, thinking to yourself, like, you know what, people are going through so much worse, especially because, you know, there are people who are surviving not having much money, who struggling paycheck to paycheck, who didn't have much food, who didn't have some of the things going for themselves. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. I still have a roof over my head, you know, have a little money here and there. You know, so I'm looking at the more positive things of this could be way worse. And I'm out here mad about the fact that I can't go on vacation, you know, or I can't.
Yeah. I can't get married. I can't go to brunch. Ooh, last weekend I wanted to go to brunch so bad.
But brunch is so important. Stop that. Brunch is important.
I mean,
no,
like
brunch is part of self-care. Like, no.
It is.
I missed it, but I also miss what it was when it was okay. I don't miss what it is now.
Right.
Looking at people in crowds at these restaurants gives me anxiety. It makes my skin crawl. I hate it, and it's not going to be the same for a very long time. And so, yeah, I miss how it was before, but it does not propel me to be like, well, you know what? I'm gonna go out there and get my bottomless mimosas. Like, no, I can just have my mimosas here for cheaper and just deal with it. But yeah.
Or you could be like me and sip a bottle of Crown Royal Peach right here. You know what I'm saying?
Ramone,
That's what I need. I need that Crown Peach. Jesus.
how is that drink, Ramone? I got Crown Royal and
I got I got the green apple, but I definitely need that peach.
Well, see, it's interesting because
the peach is interesting.
I had 2 bottles since March because 2 of my homeboys here birthdays are close together, John and Trey. And usually every year for our birthdays, we give each other a bottle of Crown. So I bought 2 bottles, and they've been sitting in my fridge for the last few months. And then last week when we had the thing, I said, nope, I'm opening one of these because I really, you know, like fuck it, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, anyway. So Brit, how about you? How's everything going?
So it's definitely been a sit your ass down situation. So if anybody knows me, I am queen of doing the most. I am a social butterfly. I am an extroverted introvert, so I love people, but I don't like them. And I'm so good at, like, it's not just being a spoken word artist, but facilitating. I host, you know, like all these. I know how to deal with people, and so I know how to finesse my way through conversations, and then I can come back home to myself. Like I ain't got to talk to nobody or nothing. Mm-hmm. So prior to the pandemic, like taking off, I was working 3 jobs, 7 days a week since like October. And then it didn't even dawn on me that I was working 7 days a week until somebody told me, you know, you work every day. And I was like, you lie. That's not true. Yes, you do. And so, but in my mind, it's not always work. I'm doing what I love, so it don't really feel like work. I was tired as that thing all the time. And because on top of working and then having a social life, I told you I was going to karaoke like once or twice a week because I need that outlet, you know, like that separation. I'm the one, if you call up like, hey, Brit, you want to go to Waukesha? I don't know what's out there. let's go. Like I'm that person. I went to 19 concerts last year. That's what I do. This is my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I love live music. I go. This is what I do. So like going from 19 concerts last year alone to like I'm about to get my refund for the Roots picnic. I miss Snow Allegra back in April. Like all this stuff is unfolding. I'm up here like, what am I doing? You know, so all the things that like, I go to live theater. So all that stuff is shut down. So all those things that I do, you know, in my busy life, it just caused me to really just like sit down. But in turn, like positive spin, I've been saving more money because I ain't really got it because I ain't got no jobs no more. And the downside of dealing with unemployment. People have been we've been literally waiting for months for just an answer, you know, saying like, and I'm single and I don't have any children. So thank God, like I can just kind of take care of me, or I got like, you know, people who got my back, but like there are real life families out here struggling because people can't make a decision because they waiting on a company to get back to them. But nobody's at the company because the company is shut down because of the situation. And so, but what I have been filling my time is binge watching more shows that I have been to. I am also a manager of artists. That's still just, I can't believe that. So I have 5 artists that I manage. So that's been consuming my days. I have individual.
Oh, you want to manage me? No.
Girl, at this point, come one, come all, because I never saw this in the vision. I just like to help people. And they're like, oh, I want you to be, are you sure? Can we do a trial? So, and then on top of that, like, I finally finished my book, my first poetry book that people have been waiting on for like years.
Nice.
So, you know, doing that and now about to like start to record my project, like I guess honing on more creativity and then using ways of like interacting with folks. I do these things all the time. So it helps people stay more connected to me. And people been riding down on me, sliding me hugs because I'm sorry, y'all, my top 2 love languages are physical touch and quality of time. So you can sit on the other couch, and we social distancing, but when you hit that door, I am squeezing the hell out of you real quick for like 2 seconds, and then you go about your business. Cause I gotta, like, if that's my own way of being defiant, then I'll take it. But yeah, it's kind of an up and down. I really, if nothing else, I miss my young people. And I miss my staff, and I miss them annoying me, you know what I'm saying? And I miss our routine of like programming and them and having that safe space for them to come to. So, you know, I'm thinking about them in law enforcement too, like when they want to be defiant about not staying home and then what that looks like. So my mind is always all over the place, but I guess for the most part, my bills still paid, my house is still replenished. At the end of the day, I am good. But for now.
Yeah.
So,
Would you mind if I piggyback off of her for a hot second? So my brother is actually a Milwaukee police officer, and he works in the worst district to work in Milwaukee. He works in District 5, which is, if you're familiar with Milwaukee, it's like Locust Street area, and if you're not, it's like it's a rough part of town. And he actually is a confirmed case of coronavirus because of where he works, because of working in the inner city, and it's so badly spread there. So he just got diagnosed a few days ago. So all of these people who aren't staying home and they aren't following the rules, and then the police officers are literally having to put their lives in jeopardy, and it does affect. So it is very, very true. I just wanted to piggyback off of that.
And that's so real. And my heart goes out to you for your brother too, because it's just, my uncle had it and my dad's best friend had it, you know, like, and one of my really good friends were the same age, 33. He had got it, got over it, but that's not always the result for most people.
Yeah, he's ex-military, so he's probably like, you know, he's got that tough guy mentality of, oh, I'm fine, you know, so. And he doesn't have any pre-existing conditions, and he's still in his mid-20s, so he's probably okay. But still, like, you never know with this virus.
So it's kind of smooth turn, because it really is unfortunate with everyone possible. Like, especially when you go places like fast food places, restaurants, it's usually the same type of people that usually work those jobs, and they kind of have to deal with everything that comes with it. But kind of just to add, when Brit mentioned how she's the type of person when she opened the door and she grabbed her hug. Are you the type of woman that you know how they make fun of dudes like, yo, where my hug at? Don't tell me you that type of woman.
Oh, wait a minute. I am queen consent. I am queen consent. Okay. Let the hug life is real, Ramone. The hug life is real.
Oh, trust me.
It is a mutual thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So they like, Brit, can I hug you? I'm like, is that rhetorical? You better bring it in. Okay. So because you could say the same thing about me when it comes to beards, and I am a consent. I've never touched a beard that didn't want to be touched. So I am a consent person. I am not that woman. Okay.
That was great.
Oh, that was great. So, all right, that.
All right. Oh, next. I have to really, I feel Brit because I'm also I have so much energy. That's why I made myself a drink before I started to I was like so excited, and I was just like, oh, I just don't want to, be the one talking over everybody. But I'm very much one of those people who job is just as important as my personal life. It's like one thing really for me. And as an event coordinator, I'm looking forward to, I gave birth to my daughter end of December, and 4 days after giving birth, I was already running errands. I was already like doing shit.
Wow.
You need to calm down. You need to lay down. I was just like, no, I can do this. I'm fine. And literally came back off of maternity leave 1 week. I was in the office, and all this stuff happened. And it's just like, my world really has, come down to like, it's me, my husband, and my daughter in our home, and I can't complain. It's kind of a blessing in disguise. I was kind of worried about how she would be with me, working all the time. And I do events to where it's like full day production. I'm in, from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight when the band finishes, and now I've been able to be with her here with her milestone. Great. But also, I was just, so looking forward to work. I missed it very much. I'm a organized person. I do all the production timelines. I miss being with my coworkers in video. And even though we talk every week and we keep each other up to date, there's no work. So we're all kind of bored and trying to see what other outlets we have. So I started sewing. And I started making masks for people just because I don't charge them, it's like off a donation. It's like, I understand some people, aren't as fortunate as everybody and can still pay their bills. Some people can pay $1 for that mask. So I'm like, you give us $1, it's totally fine. And as for work-wise, I was like, let me take classes online. So now I'm going to start to take classes. Because I'm like, when it's normal, maybe I'll be able to bring more experience. So with all this energy, I've had to keep myself busy because I would drive myself crazy. And I love my husband. He's awesome. He is like the mellow side of this relationship. He keeps us very chill. And my baby's pretty chill. Even though she's with my mom right now. I was like, can you take care of her while I do this? Definitely miss everybody. I know a lot of people who are home buddies, who are very much introverts and have been able to cope with everything. But I'm definitely more on the Brit side where I'm like, I need people. I love the busy atmosphere. I miss concerts. I miss work. I was supposed to meet all these celebrities this year. Didn't happen. I look forward to that. And I know for like Ramone did my wedding. And luckily we were able to do it right before the baby was born. And I was so looking forward to like my heart's with you, and with the floral and everything, I'm a part of that too. So it's just like all these brides and all these businesses who've had to postpone and cancel. It's, I kind of feel for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But we do because we love it and we can't.
Yeah.
And it's like, have to, for me at least, it's not every day, but I definitely have to keep myself up, keep myself positive, and keep myself happy. And thank you, Ramone, for inviting me to this, because I was very much looking forward to it.
No, no
Likewise.
problem.
Likewise.
Yeah.
It's interesting that because so you still do a lot of coordinating at the marquee, right?
Everywhere. So for I work with a company called Warden Ames, and so my title is just event coordinator, and we have different contracts. Like we do a lot of, I work a lot on the philanthropy side of the business, which is like American Heart Association, Memorial Hermann, MD Anderson, and we coordinate their galas. So these are events that we plan for months, and then it's just like this big thing. So I work with like, you know, whatever venue they pick, that's who we work with. So kind of being able to talk to everybody still and hearing their stories of like, you know, all businesses are closed. So that means, and that just creates a ripple effect for bartenders, for servers, for people in video, for people in lighting. You know, we all feel that effect because you don't realize like the thousands of people it takes to create one show.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Melodie?
Okay, so I think the biggest hit was like Brit said, like within the first like week or two, where everything was like boom, boom, boom. You don't have this, you don't have that. I am single and have always been really, I pride myself in how well I can like manage my funds, make sure I'm taking care of myself, and like not having to worry about the everyday, day to day, however it goes. So within the first like 2-3 weeks, it was probably the roughest period for me because I think what I missed was the routine. And as I've transitioned into, okay, money shit is settled. Like, as long as these unemployment checks keep coming in, I am now able to focus on the other parts of my life that really do make me happy. So I'm missing one routine, but have completely developed a second one. And I don't like to think that I'm like thriving, but I'm definitely like with a whole heart of like positivity, surviving this mental struggle that everyone's going through. I wake up every morning, I have my coffee in the sunshine. If I can't have it in the sunshine due to rain, whatever weather, I have it by the window. I make sure I'm working out. I've planted a garden. I have purchased equipment that I needed to kind of build my business a little bit more because I'm not the most tech or business savvy person. So with that spare time, I'm reading up on how am I going to market myself, like how to take better photos of my beverages, looking at how I can do a tutorial of some sort. You know, this whole Zoom thing has been like a whole new thing for me too. I had a complete birthday party at home. I've never had so much birthday fun from my living room with no one here. And friendships and travel are a huge part of my life. So I think that maybe the one part that like really is messing with me is that I don't get to go on any of the vacations I had planned. I was hitting, you know, multiple events just like Brit too. Like I've hit 3 concerts already by the mid-February, and then it all tanked. Mm-hmm. So any other plans that I had up through the first half of the year were canceled out after January was over. So I don't feel as much pressure now, especially like I work at Marquee, and there was no talk of my restaurant reopening as they're starting to reopen everything. So I'm like, okay, I have maybe a solid 2, 3, 4 more months of this of isolation. So I'm getting my bike out. I'm hitting these bike trails. I'm making a way to make sure I am outside of my home in the safest way possible and still balancing like the isolation portion of it. So I think I'm all right.
I'm low-key jealous of all y'all that get to stay at home.
And I'm jealous of you.
I know.
Right?
I would kill to work right now.
Let me back it off.
To be able to like leave because I want to transition into being a full-time artist. And basically a full-time artist, their life is quarantine pretty much. So that's what I've always dreamt of, is just like, oh, I can get up and like walk to my studio, which is one of my spare bedrooms,
Right.
and go and paint and like, you know, like have that routine with that. But it was just like the whole world stopped, but my life still kept going. I was like, and it's like all the bad stuff is better. So I'm just like, what the hell is going on? It's a weird headspace to be in, because I don't want everybody's life to be messed up, and the people want to like be out there, and I want to be where they are at home. It's just such a weird thing. But yeah.
But I hear what you're saying, Asia.
Living your best life, you sound like it.
I never wanted to be a full-time artist. I just got paid today from a performance that I did in February.
Wow.
That I can't operate like that. I need some consistency. So when that happens, and I've been doing all that, I'm like, I'm calling, I'm emailing, I'm screenshotting, I have evidence. I don't understand. I'm not checking the mail anymore. It's not there. Y'all didn't process it. And this is coming from an institution like MATC. And they're already telling. So when you do contract work with institutions and organizations, they'll give you the spiel. Oh, it's gonna take like maybe 30 days of process, and it's all this thing. But then in the midst of that 30 days, this pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is making sure the money is in rotation. Where is my money? I signed a contract. I provide the services, and people and artists especially have to learn how to advocate for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be passive about that. That was $500. I waited months. $500 that belonged to me.
I bet that was clutch now. You know?
I mean, hell, what's your thought? She was like, we can do it electronically. Girl, here's the email. Send the money now, okay? Like,
my Venmo,
but people don't play in my face about my money, knowing that this is like understanding the climate that we're in right now. You know, people need that because our bills still come out in chunks. And hashtag my bills matter. So I need to know that they're taken care of. Like, you can't be playing with people like that. So that's another reason why I probably would never be a full-time artist, because waiting for people to pay you is when you have things, you know, like to take care of. Like, I can't worry about your check to keep my lights on. I got to keep my lights on. So
I love the bullshit line. Oh, it's good. It's good experience. It's good exposure. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck
lies. It's a myth. You can get paid and get exposed.
Obviously, I've been exposed enough because you in my face. So expose me my money.
Just run me my coin. Thank you.
Contract work, I can definitely, you know, talk on that. It's just like you do work job, you just gotta wait for it, and sometimes you can't, you know, it needs to come. So contract work is hard, you know, even with like the unemployment, having to apply for unemployment. If I'm self-employed, this is how much I do. That's not always easy. That was hard. That was a thing I discovered was unemployment, but for self-employment. So.
Yeah, I still haven't done that. So.
Unemployment there.
Well, hey, I'm telling you, Aisha, you know. Hey, look, I just want to be lazy. Okay. Like,
but after
y'all,
a while,
look, people who know since I've been here, I've been in Houston for 10 years now. Almost, it's crazy. It's been 10 years. Like, it's crazy. But
Ramone, you live in Houston?
Yeah, I've been in Houston the whole time.
You left Parkside, you left Kenosha, went to Houston? Where the hell have I been?
I was so after I graduated, being born in Milwaukee, my mom moved to Madison like 7th or 8th grade. So I was living in Madison, and then I went to Parkside. I went to Parkside not knowing anyone. And so I was at Parkside, and then after I left UW Parkside, I lived in Milwaukee for a little bit. And then about 10 years ago, everything's like, because I was doing sports broadcasting, I was like trying to do all these different things. I was working at the Wisconsin Center District, and I was trying to go for the, I was covering like Marquette basketball. I was covering all the sports that were going on in the city, including high school. So I was trying to get an internship at ESPN Milwaukee radio. So it didn't work out the way I was like, and my mom was already living down here because she moved the same day I moved into the dorm rooms in 2005. And so I decided to stay in Wisconsin, which, you know, whatever. And when I came to visit Houston, I really didn't like Houston like that. I don't like Houston now, but it's kind of like, but when I came down here to visit, I came down here the winter break of 2005 and in the summer of 2006. The summer of 2006, I was volunteering at the center for a lot of the kids in Houston on the north side, and also Hurricane Katrina victims. So a lot of kids that were there at this community center. And so I came down here and I was working, and I did some stuff at Labor Ready, which it was like whatever. So get up 5 in the morning and do that was trash. But and so I just, when I came down, it was just like something different, something new. I was already doing sales, and I kind of transferred down here, but I kept getting lost in Houston. So then I got hired at the airport working in restaurants, and then worked at the airport for like 6 years, and that was interesting in itself in so many different ways. But yeah, I've been in Houston the whole time, and
Wow.
to be honest with you, if I wasn't an engaged man, and if Sarah really, if she hated Texas, I wish she did, I would find ways to be gone by now, because I just, oh my goodness. Anyway, so yeah. so starting with Joy, so what's interesting with us being home now, we're trying to find ways to to reevaluate our schedule, the things we want to do, our interests. For me, I've been able to do something like this. I was like, look, I've been fortunate to be good at so many different things, but it's kind of hard to figure out the one thing to do. And so, but for me, like making beats, things like that, I have a lot of friends, and but the thing that we have more time to do is be on social media, for better and especially for worse. So how has social media played a role through this whole quarantine thing for you? And how have you because usually how's that played a role? And just your mentality of just, okay, everything that you see, and obviously it can really trigger a few things, and you trying to figure out, okay, this is what I should and shouldn't do when it comes to social media compared to when I didn't have time working all the time.
Well, truthfully, it helps me with like connecting with new people, because now I just teamed up with one of the girls who, she also sells wigs, but she wants me to do clip-ins with her. So it's really nice. And then it's also giving me a time to like really just buffer, like to clean my little friend list.
Get chops. Well,
the cuts.
Hey, you know what's funny though? Like, okay, I know everyone really appreciates certain friends, but there's some friends that was kind of like, they kind of trash, but I've always been nice to them. So quarantine just gave me a reason to really not fuck with them.
Kind of trash, but I think I'll hold on to you.
They got to go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't care. They gotta go.
How about Alisa? How about you on social media?
Well, there's a couple of different things I've been doing with social media. I've been on it, and I've been getting really passionate, and I've just been like, I mean, I've always been a passionate and political person, but I'm to the point, like, I always kind of kept that line of like, okay, their family are okay, I used to work for them. Now I'm just like, fuck it. If you're being an idiot, I'm going to call you on it, and that you're being an idiot, because, I don't know, we're in an age and an era of stupidity, and I'm so sick of, like, the conservative, like, bullshit. So I've just been calling people out on their bullshit on one aspect of social media. And then the other aspect, I've been doing a lot of just randomly doing like a dance class. I'm like, hi, I'm going to go live and do this if you want to take it. And I don't ever ask for money for that, but if like people want to donate, I'll say you can donate money. But I do it more just to have something to do. So I've been trying to be a little bit more creative with social media versus angry, because I get very angry with it right now, and people posting stupid shit. But yeah.
All right, so Aisha, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about what Aisha about to say, because I have all this beautiful art that I need to promote, but I really have to deal with y'all. Like, this is Aisha. So.
Bruh, you know, I hate social media like with all my heart and soul. I just want it to go away, but it's a necessary evil in my life. So at first with social media, my biggest thing was the people talking about how this is a 5G virus, and
oh my god.
I unfollowed hella people because of this, or like it's just like the flu, or if we're basically talking to millennials, if y'all live through swine flu and West Nile, then it should be this hard, like all that.
No.
What I feel like, just a side note, everybody should have a sciencey friend. If you don't have a sciencey friend, I'll be your sciencey friend. Half the time, the things we're gonna say is not gonna be all roses and butterflies and rainbows, because honestly, from a science standpoint, this is some shit, y'all. Like, it really is. But yeah, just that whole aspect of it, like people talking out of their asshole, was very annoying at first. So I just had to like clean out a lot of people. Social media though, for me, Ramone knows this, I hate it. I'm always trying to figure out how to love it. And that's very hard for me because I need to advertise myself. I need to market myself. I need to show myself. I just recently came to the realization that I'm content. I hate that word, content. Content. Ugh. But yeah, like just to be this commodity for people to consume. And also, like, because I'm an artist, I spend a lot of time on a piece just for people to scroll through and just go beep, like, and then move on with their life. Like, that's so weird. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What else do you want me to say? I hate the shit.
It is interesting because you're not even on Facebook. Like
I hate Facebook is the worst. Oh my God. I don't know how y'all on Facebook during this time. I feel like every time something happens in the news, the whole time I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not on Facebook right now. Because I felt like everything was so saturated. All the stupidity was just very, very concentrated on Facebook.
Well, see, it's interesting about Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is Instagram and Twitter, you can somewhat control the narrative of what you want to see because it's about who you follow, which I still like the chronological order of stuff, but I hate the fact that
I missed it.
You missed this from 45 days ago. I don't care, but with that being said, with Facebook, you are more likely following people like family and friends and kind of friends.
Horrible.
And then you find out like, yo, your mentality is ass. And so then you kind of have to deal with that. And so I think that's the hardest thing with Facebook to deal with compared to Instagram. I can follow whoever I want and however I want it. And unless the Explorer page got a bunch of stuff, which I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. For me, my Explorer page is very interesting, I have to say the least. But so, and then Twitter, kind of the same thing, unless people like retweet or you like something that they see. So, but Facebook has this thing where just like you've been following this person since high school, especially depending where you're from. If you grew up a certain place and all these certain places in high school, and you grew and you gotten older and you've advanced your mind, you became woke my brother and sister. You start realizing that some of the people that you kind of trusted their view on things. Oh, fam, you bugging. It's
and then Facebook gives them an opportunity to type out a monologue about their innermost thoughts, and I don't want nor need to know about any of that. So yeah, I don't have Facebook. Every time I get on Facebook, it's a problem. The last time I was on Facebook was 2016. Y'all know what happened in 2016. So no, I'm good. Trump happened.
Right. No, I was with you.
All right, how about you, Brit?
My life is on social media, and I hate it. I mean, so when you are the host of things, before I was hosting Lyrical Sanctuary, I had started this open mic back in 2013 called Pentastic, and it still goes on without me. And I hosted it the first 4.5 years, and there was one time I took 3 weeks off of Facebook. And in those 3 weeks, our numbers were so low at the set because I'm the one who creates the event. No one, shares it without me or this or whatever. Even when you ask somebody to do it, like, hey, I'm trying to stay off because I'm an influencer, I guess, from what people tell me. So if I say, hey, join me at this tree down the block at 6 o'clock or something. Someone is going to join me at that tree just because I asked someone to join me. And then they kind of want to know what's going to happen at this tree. Probably nothing, but like they'll just go forth. And so, if I'm not there to do it, I try to like limit myself. But then, even with all the negative stuff that we could talk about, I just try to find like majority of people on my thing that I follow are hilarious. Or they're finding like these funny memes or gifts that I'm gonna, save and use for a later time. Like this was good. Archive. So
That is me.
so like, right, like my arsenal is just banging. I mean, I got, and then on top of that, like in the midst of a pandemic, life is still happening. People are, loved ones are passing, and they're doing drive-by funerals, and they still need support. So I've been like, hey, my condolences. But if you need, I stay with the funnies. So if you need a meme, like it ain't about like hitting you up every 5 minutes. Are you good? It was just kind of like this might be kind of obscene, but I feel like this might be necessary to share with you right now. Go ahead and laugh. It's good. It's good for the soul. And then you can go back to your sorrow 5 minutes from now. But let me just interrupt that speech. That
the pity party.
Right. So like I can't join you in the pity party, but I do got access to this other room, and you might want to go to it. Don't live there. It's too much. Just pop in there from time to time. And so it's just really weird. Because there are a lot of people, like even fools have platforms, right? I mean, even fools have platforms. Somebody, we got men up here talking about women are trash and, say niggas, I'm sorry, dudes built like a baby box trying to tell us how to, like love ourselves. And just like, I'm not giving you this energy, but like, there's like, yeah, 5-10 likes. Yeah, bro, it is what it is. Freedom of speech. So I filter some people. Like I may not unfriend them, but I probably unfollow them. But I guess what's the point of being your friend if I'm not following you? So
maybe I hurt your feelings.
Maybe I need to send my
I don't care.
like, I want to go her thing. Like, says add as a friend. Like, So yeah, it's I was always on social media anyway, so it's not like anything has changed. Like nothing's increased. I was always posting. What I have done more of is like when I look at my Facebook memories and then I find a status or post that seems very fitting for the times. Like I wrote this 3 years ago, but who knew that it would be so fitting right now? And then how algorithms work, you make a comment and it'll just show back up as if you just posted it. No one's checking the date. That's how you get satirical articles anyway. Nobody cares. It's breaking news that somebody died 7 years ago, but you just found out today and you want to share it, We already know that what that comes with. So yeah, social media is just kind of a hit or miss. I mean, you can just turn it off if you want to, just get off the apps. And then when you're ready to go back, like no one's policing me to be like, you're overusing social media. Fuck you. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's especially the old heads, like my mom and then people around my mom's age. You see the post stuff, it's just like that's the real comedy, man. Like you see the post, you're like, why you? It's like it's like and it's funny because they post the interesting stuff, but they have no caption to their repost. So it's just like. But I actually think that I think now more than ever we have learned a lot more about ourselves because I'm generally just a nice, gentle person. Like I don't do drama. I just want people to enjoy life. But I think the years of working jobs where I think most people are kind of trash in the way they think, then organizing, and even now I have to come to terms where I internally have a lot of, I can't even say asshole like attributes, but I just don't give a fuck about people like that. I just, why? Like if I rock with you, I rock with you heavy. Like I appreciate you, everything you do and say, and I'm here to support you. And I think it's a little different even with me growing as a young man, because compared to what social media was in 2005 when I graduated from high school, it was so refreshing where everyone had to have a college email because
Yep.
everybody can relate.
Yep.
Oh, I got class today. You know, this test is hard. All right, cool. And then you start adding high school. It's kind of like, okay, high school stuff. But then you start adding people who got real issues, like real baby mama dramas, and you know, somebody like it hit different. And then remember, Facebook. You go to Twitter, Instagram to be a little nastier than Facebook because Facebook was like, all right, I'm friends with people from our church. That changed now. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
all right.
And so, you know, I really do find it interesting where, and the only thing I really get offended with is seeing how older people always brag on how things were better when it comes to when they were younger. And I really don't believe in that. I don't try to blame everything on millennium only because if you look at history, matter of fact, let's talk about the artists that we loved growing up. They were trash. It's just now their stories are coming out. You know,
It's
at
different
least
than a shit.
yeah, at least now when someone's trash at 20 right now, we can call them out for being trash at 20. There's somebody who was trash at 20, but they 80 years old. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it to me, it's just this big ass crowd of people that love screaming what they have to say. And I don't necessarily think people are more advanced. Like, yeah, sure. Back in the day, people probably say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. But it doesn't change everything. Freaknik was in the 90s. He was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, these things, the
thing
human
about
nature doesn't change.
The thing about back in the day though is that I saw like a comic and it was like, back in our day, we got you millennials and you Generation Z's, y'all too sensitive. And it was like, actually we not. Y'all felt the same way we did, except y'all had unhealthy habits of just suppressing all your shit.
Right.
And so we're able to express ourselves in a multitude of avenues. And so we feel the same way y'all feel. It's just that we have a better way of expressing it, or we have the freedom to express it in whatever way. So, sorry. But,
how about
yeah.
How about you, Matt?
I have like the smallest footprint on social media. Like my social media is almost non-existent, but because I don't have time. I feel like for people who have like great content, people who have like Instagrams with themes and everything, and that shit looks good. I am from afar, but I don't have time. Like I want to, like I feel like I need to make at least like my Instagram better, not for like everybody, but also like job wise, you know, videos, like the events that I do, I guess to kind of like for advertisement for myself, you know, like, oh, I do this and I do that. Go look at my Instagram. Because if you look at my Instagram now, it's just like, oh, here I am. I went over here one year. So it's not a lot, but I mean, I think maybe with now I'll have time to do it, but I'm not like big on it. It's something that, you know, adds or takes away from my life. You know, this is what adds to my life right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Melodie.
For me, social media, I really only have like a Facebook and an Instagram, and I take it very seriously about like what you feed yourself, like, you know, like it builds your character. So I don't follow pages or people who are ignorant and have such negative views of the world. Like if you scroll through my Instagram, it really is people who love me, things that make me feel good, and creative people who help to make my ideas come to life like in my own special ways. So like Lisa was saying, like I don't have the energy to fight the people who are ignorant, because even on Facebook, if I catch a news clip that's live, I immediately swipe off the comments. I will not read your racist shit that's gonna be, like, flare up and want to fight you. I don't have the energy for that. So I'm here for whatever the news had to tell me about, some updates, see if I need to make some changes, and then I'm out of there. Because the more you, at least for me, the more the energy that I put into people's ignorance and their like negative ways or whatever they want to say about women or who and how we should be acting, I'm unfollow, delete. I don't need to see none of that, because I'm very strong in who I am. And if this platform isn't helping me get better, then I don't need to see it.
Right.
So I've taken some of the drink pictures, you know, like I've found myself like, you know, with the things that I've been doing to build my business, I'm like, okay, let me make sure I'm posting my quarantine cocktails. Like I have a garden. I go to the grocery store every week. I'm making sure I'm getting fresh produce so that way I can at least produce, film, take a picture of, still have some sort of presence to build my platform for my people who want to follow, people when events are a thing again. So they'll be able to hire me in, because once they see my personality, they see how much I put into my drinks and how much I love what I do. That's what's going to bring the people in to want to work with me. So I try to use it as a tool and not as much as like downtime or something that's going to like entertain me. I want to use it as a tool instead.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think
I
that's
agree with the whole like
on is using it as a tool, because I'm just like, I don't really use it for anything else, but I think as a tool, it is something that's very important and definitely something that I want to get better at, you know, because it's like, even though, you know, other people see it, so then they're like, okay, this is what Natalie likes and this is what Natalie is posting, and this is, you know, even if you don't want it to be like a reflection of yourself, it is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. And that's all social media is to me, is a tool. Because if I didn't need it for art, I wouldn't be on it.
Right, but it's important to, like, you know, if it's your dance, if it's your artwork, if it's our businesses, no matter which way or form, you know, like as we transition into this era, yeah, it is important to have one and making sure it is a reflection of yourself. So like, I feel like at least with our group that we have here in this chat, the majority of us use it as a tool to make ourselves better. And that in itself makes it beautiful. It makes it useful for us, because otherwise, what, we're going back to door-to-door salesman? Like,
when people ask me what I am, I say I'm a builder, a healer, and a connector.
Mm-hmm.
So I say I'm less of like a poet. I'm a creative. We all are creatives.
Yeah.
And those are tools. Like social media is a tool that I use to build, heal, and connect. So when we share our stories, realizing that we're not so isolated in this world. You're not the only one thinking this way, feeling these feelings. Like in this exact moment, there's like at least 5,000 people who are feeling those exact same emotions that you know, when people choose to be very brave online, sharing their stories that they wouldn't normally put out there. I don't think they're just pulling for sympathy points. They're trying to see if there's anybody out there who feels the same way or has been there before. When I've expressed things in the past, I've had people inbox me like, I am so glad that you said something because I've been dealing with this or whatever like that. Like it starts a dialect, it starts a dialogue. And and then you start to find out more about, because some people don't post a lot on their walls or anything, and their profiles are very, not misleading, but very scarce. Like they only want you to know what they want you to know. Mm-hmm. So for someone to even scroll past your post, like I make posts, y'all, and I forget that I made the post. Somebody got me a record, a vinyl of The Roots, one of their albums, and it was like, I remember you saying on a post that the only two albums you had was Hamilton the Musical and Michael Jackson's Thriller. And I was like, hey. Yeah. So I need to step my game up on my records. And I was like, but I forgot all about that post. But he remembered it enough to purchase me a record for my birthday. And I'm like,
yeah, I just be talking.
I seriously just be talking. And someone will tell me like, Brit, I saw that, and they like, I thought of you. I remembered your post, and I just want to bring it to you. And I'm like, what?
It's a little tool to keep us that connected. Like I miss people. I know you guys miss people. So, you know, it is those small little things that people notice, that they love about us, that our friendships that are, you know, states away, miles away, countries away, like this does give us an opportunity to get that much closer to them and still feel like we're in our normal, you know what I mean? It's not going to be normal for a while, but whatever our new normal is, like, of course, like these small connections, however we can make them, even if it's just building a new connection in that sense. Like, okay, well, I'm not alone in this world. I don't want to know all your life story, but hey, we're relatable. There's so many things that are pulling us apart and trying to make it seem like we're not supposed to be human and caring for one another. But when you do meet people who do have that one close thing, you're like, okay, you know what? I can have that conversation with them because we're relatable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. I kind of want to get to the shits on this one because I really do find.
Mo, I can't see you.
Oh, can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay.
On your phone, you need to swipe over a page.
Well, yeah. So I had to change something because it was an Amber Alert on my phone.
I got that too.
And and so it kind of messed up what I was trying to do with the one at the bottom. So I'm trying to talk through my laptop, the one that's recording from the top. So that's why you can see that one flash. So, I mean, you can still see me from the side. Look at that side view, that dusty beard.
Okay.
So, dusty beard life. So, what? Okay, so part of with social media and everything I've said so far when it comes to life, career, reevaluation, something that also faces it could be a challenge, it could be just a mentality of just how to approach different things is relationships. So some of you are single here, some of you are in a relationship, and so when it comes to even with social media and the dating world and you know, what is your mindset right now when it comes to, okay, I'm focused on these things and maybe these challenges that you feel when it comes to dating, when dealing with social media and or when it comes to your job or career, and if the ones who are in relationships, how have you been approaching kind of the same thing? How have you approached those things also? Especially because I know Aisha, part of her is being visible, but there are a lot of trash ass people in the process that it doesn't matter, you know, if, you know, what she has going on. They see, okay, whatever as an opportunity. Same thing as Alisa. Same, you know, in that you being married. So, I know Melanie, Joy, and Brit are currently single. So I know y'all have different stories there, or maybe examples before y'all was in a relationship and how y'all approached everything and your mindset and your mentality and with dealing just the world of dating through social media and trying to navigate while you're trying to build a career. Oh, so we're gonna start with Joy. My bad.
I was like, I mean, I'm still kind of confused on what the question is.
So just navigating in your challenges, just when it comes to what you're trying to do with your life and social media, and when it comes to dating.
Well, navigating, but truthfully, right now, I really feel like it's just time to focus more on me and fixing me before I enter into, because I got out of a relationship last year and I don't want to, it's been a year, but I feel like it's still some more growing that I need to have. And it's just, I'm enjoying the time right now. Like my singleness. Like I'm actually really enjoying, I'm not sad about the previous relationship. I'm not regretting anything. And I'm actually like paying attention to everything that I've learned. And then actually I use social media for it, because I'm one of those people who quick to ask somebody for their opinion. Like, especially fellas. Like, I'm quick because I always have, like, male friends. Like, I'm that chick who always has male friends. So I'm quick to get their opinion on everything because, like, men aren't the same. Their mindset is not going to be the same every year. So it's just a growing process. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, just because, like, one of the things you have to build trying to figure out other people is just trust with the people around you. I've crossed people who they were always in a relationships, and like when it comes to who they're with, but sometimes they had issues with the people that they have friendships with. And I feel like sometimes having strong friendships and with family members or even the people that you're around, that can also somewhat help you transition to being in a relationship, or, you know, being there when needed, right? Because it's a hellacious process. And sometimes people are shy because they don't want to open up, or sometimes they feel like they're too busy because they really have no time, or sometimes it's just too much. Like, who do I exactly trust? How do I exactly approach this when, especially, I can open up and say that. So years ago, my homeboy and I was joking around, like, it'd be crazy if we kind of joked around and did, like, I just wanted to know, like, what does a woman's inbox really look like, right? And so we were joking about this, right? It's like, yo, we should create a fake profile. And I was like, no, that's not something I want to do. Because I recognize, like,
You should have.
y'all get, it's like, it's a whole different level. It don't matter if you can post your fiance laying in bed with you butt naked and dudes will still hit them inboxes like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's so, or if people say, oh, I like this picture of this. It's like, I've always viewed my approach as like, I only reason I don't mind being lame or coming off as lame because I don't like the idea that I'm unsure about how someone feels. That's the worst. Like, maybe because I don't like rejection, but it's the worst, right? And sometimes you see what you like, you have your interests, you kind of figure things out. If it don't go somewhere, it doesn't necessarily offend me. You just want to know answers. Like, okay, some people like certain things. It's this one girl I seen on Instagram. She does this thing. She does these things where it's like the heart talking to the brain and the brain's talking to.
Yes, I follow her. The council.
And it was the one where it was the council, and she was just talking about like, oh, this guy texted me good morning. Should we do? It's like, oh my god, I like him. And then it was like, the box was like, I like to call the pussy the box. The box was like, the box was super dry. It's like, nah, I don't like them.
No, the box was like, call him, hurry up. Call him.
Yeah. And so obviously,
that's how the box be talking to us sometimes, like.
Yeah, you can say,
oh, I need this.
No. For us, do this for us.
Yeah, for some cases, like, he's everything that you wanted, and then he was like, nah, this is Popeye's biscuit dry right now.
I feel like
not Popeyes, not even a drop of honey.
I feel like if it was a dude council, it would just be like, the penis like be this big dude, and then like the brain would just be this small dude, and the brain would barely talk.
Yeah, I think it's funny. If it was the dude console, it's like the penis would be Debo and the brain would be it's like, man, I don't think we should do it. No, we gonna do it. And this kind of like, okay, we gonna do it.
Wait, but I seen a guy one though that did one. He was pretty good. So.
But it's like I've even said, even my own relationship is, I don't benefit from talking down or shitting on, Sarah. Like, I don't, because I feel like you don't get the full love, like that raw emotion of love that you get from someone when someone knows that you either install some type of fear or you talk to them or treat them a certain way. And I could be on that too nice guy of a thing, and I don't have that dribble of toxic in me. Well, I try not to, but it's like but I was always interested. And that's why, getting kind of into this part, just getting to know more about the mindset and approach and being in relationships and being single, and because y'all have challenges that you mentally every day have to approach, going out, I got to deal with this. Or I don't mind compliments, but hey, wow, your hair looks great today. Oh, thank you. And then they walk away and say, your hair looks great today. Oh, thank you. Man, what them areolas look like? It's kind of like you just don't want to deal with all that, right?
No.
You feel me? But that's how people are. Like, I know I'm being extreme, but that's how people can be.
That's not real life.
Yeah, and that's a challenge you have to constantly deal with. So I know, Joy, you have your approach in just being in a relationship, and Alisa, you being in a relationship. How's everything when it comes to your career and when it comes to social media, and also how that ties into the way you move in your relationship?
So like the one thing that was like with my person is that I've discovered like that what I've had to learn and that I've had to grow is that I'm a person who I'm a person who doesn't like conflict, who will avoid conflict with like personal people, but I'm so ready for conflict with strangers. So I've had to learn, if that makes any kind of sense.
That makes complete sense.
So one thing I've had to learn is like I would avoid certain things because I didn't want to start a conflict. So, versus now where I'm just saying anything and everything, like not saying anything and everything, but like I'm being honest with myself to not avoid a conflict, but more of like have a logical discussion. So, I used to, and I still do this with like other relationships with friends where I'm like, I'm trying to catch myself in it by like just telling them like, look, no, you need to do this. Like my one girlfriend, she's in a, I don't even know why she's with the dude still. He's just a piece of shit human being. And like today, she called me and she was like, because she works third shift, and he's like, so and so woke me up and he said he was going to come pick me up, and it's been 3 hours and he hasn't done that. And I'm like, break up with him. Break up with him. Like every time he does something shitty, I tell her, break up with him. I'm to the point where, I mean, the dude is trash. Like the dude is trash. Like, so I've, through my current relationship, I've learned how to be a better person in my other relationships, like with, because I would hate I'm not a confrontational person when it comes to people that I know and I trust. But like if there's a stranger, I'm so about to throw hands. Like we went and saw Wonder Woman back when it came out in the theaters, and there was a fucking dude in front of me snoring. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I was at first I was throwing popcorn at him to try to wake him up, and then and Josh is sitting next to me. He's like, "Oh shit," and and then finally I was like, "I can't take it anymore." So I actually went up to the dude and like I touched his shoulder. I was like, "You're snoring. Please wake up." And like he like jumped up out of his seat, and poor Josh is like, "Oh my god, this girl's gonna get me killed." So, yeah, like I've always been the person ready to throw fists with strangers, but not necessarily with like close knit people. And being in my current relationship, it's that one thing has taught me to have the like to say how you really feel, say what you really mean, because you don't want to avoid those conflicts, so you can have those open and logical conversations. I hope what I said made sense.
It does.
Okay.
All right, Aisha.
Okay, so I'm about to like gush and stuff. Like, oh my god. So, I have a really good relationship, if I do say so myself. No, but like I really, really like him. We know that I love him. Okay, so we've been together for 5 years. It'll be 6 in July. But I still like him, and we're not stuck in the house, so we don't have that thing where we're like, oh, I can't stand you. I've been looking at your ass all fucking day. But because he also works in the medical field. Actually, his company is one of the companies that makes the COVID tests. So he works a lot, and he's been working a lot more because of this. So our lives, like I said, haven't changed that much. But just both of our temperaments are just like, they just work. I feel, when you hear girls and they're just like, oh, but he's so different. He's just so different. I actually mean that shit. Like, I think he's an alien. I don't like, there's just certain things about him that's just like, who raised you? Why are you like this? Like, and his reasoning behind certain stuff that you would think most men or human beings would, just his reasoning behind like just being faithful and cheating and stuff is just like, yes, that's logical. People should be like that, but they're not. Like he's just like, if you want to fuck other people, you just shouldn't be in a relationship. And he just says it matter of fact like that, like duh. And it's just like, yeah, that's right. I don't know why most people, including myself in my past, didn't just do that, So yeah, like he's just, Ramone knows. Like Eddie's just he's a different type of dude. And so as far as like social media goes, he doesn't have social media. He's like me in that aspect of like, if I didn't have art, we both would just be social media free, living our lives, not giving a fuck. be beautiful. He just has that luxury of not being on social media. So, so he just, it's not even a thing for him. And he's incredibly supportive of me. So the thing about my social media is that on Instagram, I have like a business account and I can see who my audience is, right? And for most female artists, the majority of your artists will most likely be female. That's usually how it goes. You know, females like to follow other females and they're inspired or whatever. But for me, majority of my followers are male. So that means that what I have to post myself, because what do dudes look at all day? Girls.
Booty.
Exactly. And if I just post like a picture of my artwork, it's not going to show up in their feed because Instagram's like, he's not going to like this. He likes girls all day. So I have to like put myself, and like I have to be this like marketing tool on my social media now, and I hate it. I hate it so much. I just want to be like an anonymous artist that just shows her work and just stays out of it. But I have to become this persona. Not even become this persona, because I can't even do that shit. I can't be fake. But I have to put myself out there, and he's just like, yeah, you know, dudes, you know what they like to see? Give it to them. Like, no. But he's very understanding. In the time of Corona, like I said, our lives are still the same, and I love that nigga, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait to marry him. I wish it was this year, but yeah.
So that was sweet. You know, when I grow up, I want to be like y'all. So anyway, all right, how about you, Brit?
Well, I come from the wonderful world of being friend zoned outside of social media, so it doesn't matter. It just happens more. It just makes it much easier for men to friend zone me online. It is what it is. A lot of because I always got hit with the, oh, you like some sort of celebrity. Like, first of all, like local and celebrity should never even be in the same sentence. It's Milwaukee. I know people from different walks of life, you know, or you're just busy. You'll be too busy for me. And I'm like, they won't even give me it. They've already written it off. They won't even try. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I tried a dating app, which was very excruciating. I'm not very good with small talk. I'm a Pisces. They think I can see inside their souls. I can't. I'm just a very in tune person. And it just, I don't really care about your favorite day of the week or your favorite food. I'm not going to cook it for you. I don't even know if the conversation is going to get past today. So I would not put my hopes and think, you know, and I could probably do that if I thought it was like, I don't want to know your favorite color. I'm not buying you.
I mean, she's telling the truth.
I'm going to share with you. I'm gonna find a pic on Google and be like, oh, I saw this on Google and I know that's your favorite color. Send. They got me bent. And so, but I check people's personalities. Like I connect with people like online. So generally the ones that I stay connected to are giving me their authentic selves. And I always invite that for anyone. Just bring me your authenticity. If people can't get jiggy with it, that's them. But at least you gave people your whole truth and your personality. Just, you know. And so that's what I believe. Like just bring like who I am. If that's what drew you in, great. If it's also the thing that turns you away, so be it. You know, it's like I always joke and say it's that Brit effect. I don't know. I don't know. And so but I don't like dating apps. It's no. I gave it a shot. I am done with that. So if anybody in my mind, I think that people are just supposed to fall in love with me instantly, like boom, total package. Do you know what you get when your status changed to in a relationship with Brit Nicole? Do you know?
Like, I'm here. What are your other two wishes?
Hello.
Exactly. Like, hey, you with me, fam. Like,
It's me.
Can you say over usage of the heart reaction? Ding, 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 ding. Okay. This is the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Let me love you. But no, I think I've just been taking this time to just work on me. I think just like Joy said, because I don't think a pandemic, and I made a post about this, could keep like souls away from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're gonna connect, we're gonna connect. And if I see you, you know, I walk down a fresh time on my same block, I'm sure they're tired of looking at me, but I'm not tired of seeing them because I need human interaction. So if he happens to pop up right there, like, I'm just kind of open myself up to possibilities, you know, but just really making sure that I'm so grounded in myself that who knows, even after this all smooths over, it could still be another 6 months before I actually get into a relationship. I'm not, I guess I'm not hell bent on that. I'm not fixed on it. I think the relationship within myself and how I present myself in the world is more important right now. And then if somebody's gonna catch me, they're gonna catch me just doing what I'm doing. It's no different. So,
Right.
Like,
So,
I don't turn into another person.
so something that you said that I've always felt, people talk about the friend zone, and I think the friend zone is so underrated. Like, I'm telling you, friend zone. Okay, because
Underrated?
it's underrated. It's because okay,
The place to be.
I've
That's the
always
first time I've ever
been
heard a man say that.
no, because
Girl.
okay, I view things different. Like, my confidence doesn't waver. I still sometimes feel like, not just like you have to like me, but I feel like if you don't like me, something's wrong with you. But I'm saying not like me, like,
Boom.
but in the same breath, how I view it is the reason why I feel like sometimes the friend zone is underrated is there are some times that we like somebody that really is not worth liking. And when that person friend zones you, it ends up in other relationships. You learn so much about that person, how trash they are, and they kind of tell you their business. Like, they in another relationship, you starry eyed, they dating someone else, and they telling you how they are in a relationship or what they did, and you start thinking to yourself, man, I'm glad that wasn't me dealing with this bullshit. But because there's some people who are really good friends, but they are horrible lovers or significant others, right? So sometimes I've been like, this is like my only second major relationship I've been in my life. Not like I was out here in these streets like that. Like, literally, it's rare. If I involve myself in anyone, like, it's like rare Pokemonish, because I always had to move. I had to move carefully in everything I did, say, and anything else, only because it's not an arrogance, a cocky thing. I just looked at one of my biggest fears, pissing women off, because I seen it happen to my dad. My dad is a natural, he's a charmer, he's a certain way, and I seen how it works with my mom, because she's someone I really like. And I said, okay, I have these attributes, but I can't move a certain way. And so I've always had to be careful in how I did things. So that's why I can say I've been in situationships. But anytime I like someone, I had interest, and I kind of get the stiff arm, I'm like, damn, that kind of sucks. Like, I thought that we had something decent, but it doesn't offend me like I'm missing out on something, because number one, I value myself, thinking like, okay, I feel like I could bring something different to their life. But even if I'm a friend, I'm gonna be the best friend I can be. And number two, sometimes when people show they show themselves how they are, and you like, oh my God. Like, there's some cases I look back like, oh my God, that saved me from a lot of drama and bullshit. So that's why I think it's underrated. I will fight for underrated friend zone. I would die on that hill. Like, y'all don't, because we've all been in that situation where it's kind of like, man, I really like that person. Even now, there's somebody you probably like that you've been Facebook friends for 10 years, and you kind of see them now, or the things they talk about now. So then you start thinking, like, if I was with that person, I would hate this person. You know what I mean? Like, they
I wouldn't
save
date
you.
any of my close friends.
Yeah, they save you from themselves. They are saving you from themselves, and they don't realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's a cop out too. Like, out of fear or whatever. Like, oh, so what happens is, oh, you're so great as a person. They want to be the homie, lover, friend. But if I go up here and get into a relationship with you, I know I'm going to fuck up, and I don't want to lose you.
Okay, so, then that's self-awareness.
So then it's like, let me throw a sister on you, or let me throw, like, make you my best friend. And I have had to tell men in the past, I was like, look, niggas will sense the fuck out of me until they wanna, until the conversation shifts, and they think it's the act of, and I have to let them know, soon as you shifted this conversation, deviated from our normal, you already think like, I don't want our relationship to change. You just changed it because you changed directions. And so they don't want to take ownership of that. They want it to be unless it's a physical thing, it didn't happen. And so it's like you don't trust yourself enough to enter into a relationship with me, but then you'll go date like 5 other women, but you just don't want. But then you tell me about these women, like. I don't want to know about I don't care. I hope you're having a terrible relationship. I do. Hope that I hope that they're not working out. And if you've gone through these many women, then there's a problem with you that you're not addressing. But this ain't the time for that. So leave leave it alone. You can't sit up here and just have me the way you want me and expect me to be okay with that. You know,
Well,
they want to do things like that, but they don't want the title. So.
Well, see, the thing is they hear, like, I know I hear many women talk about how dudes like, oh, you this type of woman. I just feel like this and this and this. Like, I'm not really a fan of that. Like, I genuinely don't care. Like, I feel like, look, if people if they say they're not ready, not ready. I have a joke with Sarah sometimes, like, she'll talk about something in the past or what a dude say. I'm like, yeah, that's how you supposed to put game. Like, man, wow, you just such an amazing woman. I couldn't even be with a woman like you because you're so amazing. It's kind of like that's part of the game. That's a game type thing to make you feel because they know it's going to work, because why? It's happened before. It worked on somebody else, so it's going to work. If I make her sound like this and this and this, and they be like, it's going to humble how she think, and then maybe I could take advantage of the situation. It's like that's just how the game is. So I think it's kind of lame personally, because it's like whatever. But another thing too, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I don't like. I'm not a fan of calling anyone, like, I've been a lot of people's brother. I'm a brother to a lot of people. I don't call people sister. Why? Because I ain't shut down opportunity just in case something happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're too much of a brother to me. I'm like, no, like, oh yeah. You my best friend. I care and love for you. You think I'm gonna call you, oh, this is my sister right here? No, because one day she gonna look at me like, you know what? Ramone been here the whole time. I ain't gotta worry about it now. But I'm saying, like, why would I shut down those opportunities? So, anyway, so
They're gonna smack you now.
no, Sarah already think I'm very conceited and arrogant. It's like, no, I need this confidence is my survival. I grew up in Milwaukee, where you need to know how to talk about people, you know how to rib, you got know how to dance, sports, all this shit I do and I'm good at was survival, and it was just me being good at just who I am. Like, and you just have my confidence and arrogance doesn't affect people feeling shitty about themselves. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of the difference. Mine is more that I think so highly of myself. Like, it was a post I seen talking about, if you are with or know any black men, make sure you love them, because obviously the world doesn't. And it's like, I got enough love for myself because I need it. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been the bigger kid. Like, before I moved back, I grew up on 39th and Center. I went to Clark Street School and elementary school. And I was always bigger than everybody else, but everybody always thought that, oh, Ramone, I'd never fight you. If I have to fight you, I'm going to have to shoot you or something, you know? And that was myself, even people I know, right? And so that's why I always had to be a gentle person, even though I used to be a super competitive person. But everything I do was like a survival, knowing like, I'm going to finally get away from my circumstances where I grew up at, or I just want to be the person that everybody can remember. I want to be the person like, man, I remember I worked at the job with Ramone. He was the best person. He was cool. He was positive. He was this. And I stopped really caring about what other people think, because the more you learn about people, they have the issues, but they trash and they might not be on your level. And there's nothing you can really do about it, because they rather have you come down to their level than you try to get them on where you at. So this is a good opportunity for you to make an excuse for yourself. Usually people don't like excuses. People don't like having reasons why they're doing and not doing something. So where the things that you're trying to get to in life, the things that you are trying to do, this is an opportunity just to be like, this is what's holding me back. This is why I'm not where I'm not. Huh?
Didn't Nat and Melodie have to talk about that relationship? Oh,
my bad. Nat and
you better hold us accountable. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Asia. And ride on Asia's wave of like having a man who's from a different planet. Maybe Philip is from Eddie's planet as well, because you know. And Ramone met my ex, and I was with him for years. And as soon as that ended, because it should have a long ass time ago, only a couple of months happened. I met Philip, and it's just like my fucking world opened. And
me too.
It's like my world opened, and everything that was supposed to happen fell in place. We got married. I got pregnant, you know, and we're in each other's face every day, but we're chill as fuck. Like he's literally like my other half, and his grandma, who is just like this beautiful spiritual person, she's a Reiki coach, Reiki. And she told us when we got together, she's like, you guys are twin flames. She's like, you were on the same path your whole life and you're supposed to meet at some point. And so that's how it feels. And now we got a baby, and this baby, like we look at her every morning and we're just like, oh my God, like how the fuck did this happen? Now we got to raise her. And I never thought I was gonna be a mom. Like I was very much like like a self person, and being like, well, my sister has a baby, I have cousins, I'm fine. But it happened, and it happens quick. Y'all, just let y'all know, like babies happen real quick.
I'm just trying to hold off until after the wedding. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to have a baby, but I'm just so scared that I'm gonna get knocked up.
It happened.
I'm not gonna be able to fit in that goddamn dress. Because that's another thing. Ramone, 2 days ago, I got the call that my dress is in. It wasn't supposed to be here till August. That was another slug to the chest. Like, God damn it. So I have a dress to no wedding.
Yeah, try. Really try, because we were engaged.
Hold on.
And we were engaged for like a month. And I had already been, I didn't even know I was pregnant. I had been pregnant since the beginning of April. And so, but we still had the wedding. I mean, I had a bump and everything, but we still made it happen. And social media, we met through our mothers. At first, I was so reluctant. I was like, I can't believe my mom, like, put it together. I'm not gonna like, I can't let this be our story. But it is. Our moms hooked us up. And, we got to give them credit for it. And so social media wise, we didn't have to do like a whole online dating thing. And he doesn't have a huge media presence like on Facebook, which is really good. Like every once in a while, he'll post something. But on Instagram, he's like a whole nother person. He has this like a car Instagram thing where he goes to car shows, and he's a good photographer. He takes photos and everything. He never shows his face, but that's him there. So it's like he's a whole nother person. And he has all these followers and all this other stuff. He doesn't ever I'm never like, oh, someone's gonna slide into his DMs over this Ferrari. Like I don't know about that, which is good. So I mean, we're pretty copacetic. We're chill. I have to say, after all those years of being with that person, and Ramone, like you said, you don't realize you're with a trash person for so long until then you're with the right person. And then you're like, oh, this is how things were supposed to be.
Yeah, but those trash people, as shitty as they are and as much of a waste of the time they feel like, they teach you so much.
So much.
It's like they get you ready for the right motherfucker. Like, so.
That's inspiring.
Exactly. I'm like, ooh.
It's true. It's true. Like,
Phillips
there's so many times where I look back at like that old relationship and I'm just like, see, I have grown, I have learned, my third eye's open, all that because of this stupid motherfucker I was with before.
No more humans. We're going for aliens in 2020.
It's funny, like hearing everything about Eddie and Phil. I'm like, man, let me get Sarah to talk highly of me real quick so I can feel better about myself.
She does. She does.
Man.
She does.
Sarah gonna get 2 words and start crying. Because anyway,
she does it via text.
Yeah, she has to. That's why we say we got to get Sarah to talk at the wedding so we can see her like. Yes. So basically,
no, she's gonna talk at mine. So just wait.
Oh man, she never gets a half a word out. It's like I just let her be, but it's funny just because you get a laugh with it.
My sensitive baby.
Yeah. So Melodie. I think Melodie's stuck. She might be stuck. But yeah, I think it's cool for everyone to I think what's interesting about relationships is, people, you end up in a relationship it's in a pretty. Oh, there you go, Melody. If people end up in a good relationship, it makes you appreciate where you are, and even with some of the journeys you had, I think the struggle can be overrated because there's sometimes people go through things, and I feel like it should have never happened in the first place. Like it just, I don't. There's certain storms that don't need to happen for it to rain. I mean, for it to be sunshine. Like I feel like that sometimes because kind of more of a mental health side, people are not as resilient as you expect them to be, right? And so there are certain things that people go through where it's like we think that they go through and they fight and be resilient, and that's part of why I based it resilient because everything you're saying it sounds like it's a constant lesson. You're constantly being resilient. You always have to stay ready. You can't get ready if you stay ready, right? Because everything you constantly do is a challenge and trying to figure out the next step and what you're gonna do and um that's why I can really appreciate for the people who are single. Hey, I was in this situation and this is what I'm trying to do. People in a relationship, I was in this situation. This is where I am now. This is what I'm trying to do. And I spent a good 7 years single. And when I finally ended up in a relationship, surprisingly, everybody's like, man, Ramone, you're the only person that is able to work on yourself. You know what I mean? So when I got a relationship, I knew exactly. It was like, the thing about it, it's hard to figure out what you want. But what I did was master what I didn't want. Right. And so I feel like sometimes they can, people deal with that. It's like, okay, this is what I'm not going to be a part of or deal with. And you have circumstances where you want to make exceptions. Everybody has a story, things you can adjust. You start being around people that maybe I will take a gamble in this situation. But if you comfortable knowing what you want, what you don't want, those things that you want start coming to as those things kind of approach you. So let's see, Melody is gone. But that was kind of where I wanted to go with it on the last part. Just asking questions and things so forth. But as we are still here, is there anything? I know with Brit, you have some things that maybe people could check out, listen to some spoken words, spit them hot bars. And Aisha, I know you have some art. I will show you this Beyonce art on our wall, but the house is so trash looking right now. The front room, I just like.
Her artwork is so beautiful. Like I follow her.
Right.
I'll be like,
Thank you.
And
like I got a girl crush on your artwork. Like seriously.
Thank you.
That's one thing about Joy. Joy is actually one of my first friends ever. Like, well, outside of John, like my first friends in Houston. We work together, and she's always like just with the family and the friends and things like that. So she's always, anytime I talk about a friend of mine doing some creative or music, things like that, she's always rocking like, oh my God, I like what that person did. Who did that? Oh, I like that. So, I appreciate her having the ability to kind of say, to let that person know she rock with your shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Well, I'm buying a piece soon for my new place, so you'll be hearing from me soon.
Come on. Well, if anybody wants to add me as a friend, I'm on social media, it's just Brit Nicole, like you see on the screen. I have space. I used to be stuck at like 5,000 all the time, like unnecessarily, and then I would add a friend, but I would have to like look through and delete. So stupid. So you can. I don't be all outrageous or whatever. I mean, I post a lot, but generally it's either something funny or inspirational or just whatever. I'll post up like poetry. So if there's like promotion for something, if I go live, sometimes I've asked other poets to send me their poems and I'll read it. It's been really cool. I don't think that anyone pays attention to me. So when I get off of a live and be like, it was hundreds of views and people commenting, I'm like, why? Did y'all didn't have something better to do? What are you, why are y'all paying attention? So there's that, or like it's poetically Brit on poetically Brit on like IG, or I never really use Snapchat, but it's on there too. So, but if you ever want to connect on like Facebook, I'm always down to. This is a really amazing bunch, I should say. Like all you ladies, everybody's influence been really, really cool. So I appreciate that.
Okay, Britt, I have a quick question before we move on. Did you perform at Pride Fest yet last year?
No.
Okay, because I have a former student who is a writer and a poet as well, and she, with a bunch of other women, did a performance, and you look like somebody who
I mean, we
performs.
out here. We are out here in these streets, okay? The creatives are out here, but I have not performed at Pride Fest yet. I try to leave that space of for folks, mainly folks who identify, to give them that platform.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself like taking that space just because who I am. There's so many other avenues, and there's always such a limited amount of people who can go. And it's like, if this is the space that you can shine your light, I'm not here to go peer. I honestly cannot stand performing. I mean, I do it because it's dope to a degree. But if I can be in the audience and just cheering on my people, like because they're just a reflection of me. So if you shining up there, like when when you put your artwork, bring your artwork to Asia, to Milwaukee, Asia, then all of a sudden we're gonna be like, I know the person who did this. And we're all just reflecting off each other. I don't have to be the one in the forefront on the stage to prove anything. It doesn't diminish me as a creative in anything. It's that love that we have for each other. So, I just want to make sure that people get to have as much space as they possibly can. I just kind of be on the sidelines if needed.
Guys, I gotta go.
Okay, Nat.
I gotta go pick up my baby. My mom's like, I've been long enough.
All right.
Amazing talking.
Bye.
Bye.
For setting up this platform and everything. I'll follow all of you. You guys have a great.
You too.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
I know I missed out on Melody. What was something that we just holding you back or excuses, and just opportunity to say, look, this is me straight up. Like for me, I want to be lazy, and I fine with that. Like I'm telling y'all, like cool. I ain't shit. Like don't get me wrong, you still gotta wash your ass, but on the occasion. Hey, I got a lot of cheeks, so I need to, you know what I'm saying?
Ramone, do you listen to the Ramones?
Like I'm the only dude in my family or both sides of the family shaped the way I am, so I need to watch
I don't know what's going on.
Body.
I don't know if you can hear me okay.
It's going in and out.
Ramone, do you listen to the Ramones, or you just got that because it's your name?
Oh no, man, if I could find a shirt that I can fit that's nice, I'm gonna wear the shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was on sale. Like I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna wear it. Like I have a bunch of shirts I just want to wear for the sake of just want to wear them.
Hey.
And because it's hard, it's really hard to find shirts and shoes, mostly shoes, because I have like wide feet as it is, so it's hard to find like size 14, 15s. Because everybody like I've been the same size since I was like 8th grade. Like I've been big all my life. I probably came out the womb looking like this, so my mom always had to adjust to what she had to get for me. So even finding shoes now, I have to either order them online because people don't carry 15s in grocery store. I mean, not grocery stores. How are you now, Melody? You all right? Is your audio okay? But but I'm glad everybody was able to come on and especially just take time out of your day. I plan on doing something else, maybe start mixing men and women, depending on different subjects. I know one of the biggest things that's going on is these verses, especially with the Ludacris versus Nelly, which by the way.
I missed the Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, and I heard that was a
you can still watch it. There's a link that you can see it. I was going to share it. I have to go find it, but there's a link where I think you can watch it all over again.
It's like 600,000 people in that piece.
It was 7:15, I think.
We was live. We was live. Okay.
Hey, just by the way, because I know people are gonna be doing it. I understand Nelly is that dude. He has a lot of hits, but he don't have better song hits than Ludacris.
Nelly wrote Tip Drill.
Okay. Ludacris wrote.
Ludacris
wrote Pussy
Pussy
Poppin'.
Yeah.
Splash Waterfalls.
Splash Waterfalls, exactly. Like
move, bitch. I mean, but when I saw both of them going to be together, I was just like, oh, well, that's just going to be a good time. I mean, we already know who has the more hits and all that shit, but he also, won't he do, who is his group?
DTP? Or are you talking about the St. Lunatics?
St.
Lunatics, yeah. I'm pretty sure you're going to do them too.
These things are really tricky. And you know what's interesting? After the whole, the Dream one, I just feel like, I don't like when we overdo and oversaturate stuff as it is.
I didn't see the Dream. The only one I actually sat through and watched was the Babyface and Teddy Riley, once they got it together.
I think plenty
that
of
was
them.
good.
Yeah.
But I always
the background dancer, you know what I'm saying?
He was doing the most, like,
oh my god,
it's we hearing nothing but echo, and you up here just like jigging, like, come on, chill. Just
But
that's another thing with elders and technology, though. Elders, technology.
But Babyface, isn't Babyface older than Teddy Riley? And Babyface was just chilling.
Yeah,
like,
these dudes be old too.
He had all the shade too.
real quick, I think this is a good something I just thought of. Like, what is the first thing? What are the things when everything go back? You're Melody. We good? All right.
Complete technical difficulties. My bad.
It's okay. Yeah, don't worry. You got the excuse. We was talking about like super old heads with technical issues. You know, you're close to that, so you good. But real quick, so what's something that you feel like holds you back and things you like is holding you back from where you're trying to get to and what you're trying to do?
Okay, well, it's really, I have been like horrible with procrastination like my entire life. Like, and that's completely on me. And it wasn't until I started to realize that I am a very free-spirited person and that like I've always kind of done things when it feels right to do them rather than like setting strict guidelines and like time frames. And like I have friends who function like that and that works for them, but it's never worked for me. So when I realized that like, you know, I could be a little further along, I know it's my own doing. So that's probably the biggest thing that holds me back from a lot of my progress is, you know, like you said, sometimes you want to be lazy and sometimes I just know I need to be doing more than I should be doing right now.
But that's okay, you know.
I did have good points on the dating thing. I feel like I saw.
Oh yeah, that was
No, that's what we were waiting for you to talk about.
Yeah.
Promise. Yeah, audio was all kind of screwed up. Okay, so when it came to like social media and dating for me, I feel like Ramone said, like he wonders what girls' DMs look like. Mine are dry, bro. Like no one in my DMs ever trying to holler, and my page isn't private. So like 0 people in the inbox. However, when it comes to public, people are like, I see her, I like her, I gotta touch it. And I'm like, no. That's not how I function. That's never how I function. You know me, like I dance a lot. I am a bright, shining like star. I have no control over these moves when it comes to, you know what I mean? So
Come on.
myself, they're like, I gotta touch it. And I'm like, no. I need to get to know you. I want you to understand the type of person that I am. I'm not just some shiny trinket. I'm a whole person with feelings and emotion and spirituality. And that's what attracts me to people. So half my boys are like, dudes can just look at you and know you're not with the shit. You're not gonna fall for games, so they don't even try. And then the other half are just the extreme idiots with nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. And there's no attempt to even streamline into getting to know me as a person. So when it comes to social media, like I don't have the biggest presence. I'm not like presenting like you can come holler at me. It's more or less, you know, things with friends, things with family. But I'm still kind of open to all avenues. Just like Brit was saying, like, you know, if you catch me doing what I'm normally doing and we happen to connect and grow and move forward from that, that's great. But also on the other end of the social media sometimes has that interference when it comes to relationships, the way that Asia was saying, like, you guys don't have the Instagrams, you don't have the problems, the guys are always flirting with somebody else or whatever it may be. And that has been a problem in previous relationships. But for me, how you conduct yourself on social media is a direct reflection of your own character and morals. So it shouldn't be a problem because things are accessible. Mm-hmm. That shouldn't be a problem because that's not who you are at the core of your being. If that's a problem for you, then you just have issues with temptation in general, because I don't. All the chocolate men all over the place, yay, but do I want them? No. Do I try to holler at them? No.
Right.
Would I feel like stepping out on like my significant other if there was one present? Absolutely not. So that's kind of my take on social media when it comes to dating and trying to balance like work life, who I am as a person, how I interact with people, drawing clear boundaries between what business is and if it's open for you to flirt, because it's usually no if it's business based. So that's kind of my take on social media and dating for me. 0 people in the inbox.
I mean, but do you really want them there?
Right.
There's quality people, you know what I mean? Like, just like I said, like, I don't follow pages that don't make me feel good. I don't like interact with things that make me feel like I have to like be combative or, you know, defend myself. So there are like potentially people where I would like to get to know you as a person, sure, because that's where I get attracted to you. I know you as a person. And now I see where I can streamline and we can grow together rather than I see it, I like it, I touch it. No, I don't want you to touch me.
Not right now.
Not right
now. Not in this time.
Right.
The build up.
Something that I love what you said though, Melody, because something with me is that when somebody will hit my DM with a poem or something, right? So when someone shares with me their art, that's like another form of intimacy with me. Like they're being very vulnerable with you. They didn't put it out publicly. They're choosing you. Like I've had friends that share with me the exclusive of their EPs before it dropped. I'm like, I'm the first person.
Because your opinion matters. They value you as a human being.
Exactly.
There is like, oh, don't tell me I'm pretty.
So I'm up here like, why was I chosen? How do I do this? Like
every now and then you get a little hot and bothered. Yeah, I feel you.
Like Jesus, Devontae, Christ, tell me what's happening because I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there, and so I have to check myself before I wreck myself, you know, because then I'll like a dumbass Pisces. We fall in love very quickly, and then we get distracted, and 2 weeks later we like so I'm like, oh okay. I don't want to get into a routine with a guy because then they have these hesitations of expectations. So it's like, I do want to ask how you're doing, but I don't want you to be like, man, she just asked me how I was doing yesterday. Yeah, because that was yesterday. And I kind of want to make sure that you're okay today. But even just like trying to be subtle and just be genuine can always come off like I'm just a genuine person. And they're like, man, you got game. I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean? I was being genuine.
They're not used to quality. That's half the battle for me when it comes to like dating and navigating other things is I'm a genuine person. I smile a lot. I do want to get to know you. I want to know what your business is like. And then they're used to dealing with people who are very surface level. So then it turns into like, oh, no. I was really just getting to know you. There was no romantic just because I'm conversing.
Yeah.
So there's very clear cut lines. I think that the art of dating is dead where there's so few people actually trying to develop the friendship foundation. Not necessarily.
No one wants to go steady.
Right.
Or they want to like five or six other people. It's like I am not interested in dating Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, and just finding like aspects of them that I love that will fuse the perfect man. That's I don't even have that. I don't have that. Right. Well, you know, like your ideal person, but I barely have enough time for me and my function. Like I'm trying to weave you in. How am I gonna weave in? Like I can't do that. So if you want to see what it is, then let's work on that. And if you find out down the road that maybe as friends, I'm not gonna fight for it. I don't want to make somebody do something that they don't want to do or be in what you don't want to be in. I see so many people, especially in our age group, settling, saying like, well, there's kids involved, so I guess I'll just, you know, what you're not gonna do is jagged edge me.
We've been settling for a long time.
Younger, we might as well do it. You can keep that to yourself. You're not gonna jagged edge me. I'm nobody's consolation prize. And just like Ramone said, you know, having that confidence in yourself, like I know I'm a dope individual, and you're gonna have to really step in and be, if knowing what it is when you have me as your woman, as your partner to do life with. I'm not interested in a husband, but a life partner. I want him to do like, you know, like somebody said, like, I like you. Oh, Asia, you said, I like him. Almost 7 years. I still like him. I always loved him, but I like the person. And I think we just jumped in. We live with our hormones and our loneliness, and we're not taking enough time and inventory on ourselves to position like, is this what I really want? Is there patterns that I keep finding myself into? Maybe I am toxic because of the people that I keep finding myself attracted to. Maybe there is something I need to work on, because obviously that's not getting me anywhere that I want it to be anyway. It's nice for the thrill. It's nice to say I did something, but that's not the end goal. That's not the end game. And I think people are to the the long term of things. They just want something like right in the now, live in the moment.
Right.
And it could cost you everything.
Because I'm 36 and I'm not playing the I like you, I see you, I touch you games. I don't want it. I would much rather I've been single for roughly 3 years, maybe a little over 3 years at this point. And I've gone on dates and people don't match, and that's fine. But like, I really want to date the person who actually wants to get to know me, because I'm goofy and a whole lot of fun. But then there's the deeper levels to who I am as a person and the things I want to grow into. And I'm a reflection of that on all my platforms. If it's on social media, you see, like, these are things that I love being creative in. The creative aspect makes me happy. Happy Mel makes everybody happy. Like, layers to that.
Right.
So you can't just
Like an
go
onion.
touching and then I'm not happy. So
Well, and I really appreciate the idea of a slow brew, right? I think that's because knowing how to talk and to keep a conversation, to converse, is so, like, people. It's a lost art. So people are like, oh man, Ramone, you make everything look so easy. It's like, I figure everybody know how to do it, right? You think it'd be a normal thing, but then you start having appreciation for people who really just know how to do it. And it really is unfortunate, because I want to see everyone thrive. I want to see everybody able to just move around and be free mentally and emotionally. I want, even for men and women that are in relationships, to still have platonic friendships with people and just appreciation and still chop it up. And so, I've always wanted to kind of keep just I'm gonna show you love. I'm gonna like this. I'm fist stuff. Like, I still want to show love to people, because hey, I still see you. I see what you got going on. I still appreciate that. I'm not going to totally ignore you. And none of what I've ever been a part of was built off of insecurity, right? Because I'm not going to do anything for you to feel that way. But it's like, I still want to make sure that the people around still know, like, hey, because I understand my value when it comes to people. I understand my value, my importance in people's lives. So I still want to know, hey, I got this situation on, but always love coming from here to you. You cool,
because
you dope.
it's a merging of two support systems.
Yeah.
Like, my friends are dope. They're so dope. I'm so fortunate to have them. So when you come in relationship wise into this scenario, I want us to be fortunate to have them as well. It shouldn't be a, why you know her still, why is he, nah. These are relationships on purpose.
Yeah, and I think the one thing you always learn about certain people is they will respect your situation. There's some people that are in relationships that they have somebody that always hit them up randomly. That means that person just don't respect your relationship. They constantly try to figure out what's going on so they can get their dibs in, right? And so I've been fortunate to not have to deal with those things, because and it was something. I know Joy and I always talked about relationship stuff, and how do you know this? Back when my single days and Joy was still dating and relationships, just trying to figure out, okay, how do I figure out this? How do I navigate when this situation comes up? And sometimes if you feel like you have someone in your life that's not necessarily respecting what you're part of, if that's your friend, if your friend respects you enough and didn't recognize something, you have the right to approach them. Hey, this is what I got going on. You have to respect that. And if that person that you consider as a friend feels otherwise, and gets so upset about that, if it's justified, you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes you might be in a relationship with somebody that don't even like your mama talking to you because she's another woman. You know what I mean? Like, you have stuff like that. But to me, it ends with a respect factor. Like, when you have respect, everything else comes with it is easy to me. Like, it's friendships, relationships, and that's why I can consistently always refer back to people and hit people. Hey, I'm like hitting y'all up. Hey, I've been watching you. I know you for this. I've been following social media. I respect and love your opinions, your point of view, your perspective. I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I like, and there are other people that couldn't make it, but like that, you know, there's other people that I didn't hit up yet. It's not like I think they're trash, but I'm saying like, hey, it's a respect factor that I have and I really appreciate. And at the same time, hey, I'm not trying to do anything to say I'm trying to see what's up. In the same breath, I'm not trying to jeopardize what I have going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think all those things can happen at one time. It's just people are not savvy enough to comprehend those things. They just think that everything got to be one or this, or it's like, no, you can do all
Some
those.
gray areas.
Yeah, you can do all those things and still you can still have a perspective on knowing that, okay, and I think I've learned that a lot about myself. I think the best part for me is able to talk to women like you to always keep things in perspective, because listen to women like y'all has always put me in positions over the years to know what to do, how I move, how to approach this. Okay, if I'm in a relationship, this is how I handle things. Now I'm still have my ways of doing certain things, but I've always learned that, okay, if I always have to keep things in perspective. At least I know that that perspective is there, you know. And so it all depends. It's kind of like how I view Transformers. People have the gift of, you know, it's like the cubes. People use it for good, and some people use it for evil. Everything about myself, I use it for good because I've seen what having people might have the same attributes as me, how to use it in the wrong way and how to affect other people. You know, and so it's just a responsibility that comes with it. So yeah, like once again, it's about it's a slow burn. I really appreciate getting to know people. Like, wow, this person interesting. Let me talk to this person. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Oh, this and that. And it's like, oh, but this person dope. I got to be this person's friend. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that, you know. So I'm really it is such an honor to have y'all here. Like, it really means so much to me.
Thank you.
I was printing, like I had this writing questions, like I talk a lot and things, but I enjoy doing stuff like this because this is so meaningful. You know, like one thing I've always been good at is like cross paths of people that never met before. Like when I first moved here, I remember I had a party at my house at an old job I had, and I had a bunch of people kicking it at the house that would never kick it ever. You know what I mean? Like, and so I understand the ability to do that, and I'm just glad y'all was able to do that. I wish I can go forever. I wish I could think of more stuff to talk about. You know, let's get into some spicy stuff if y'all want to. But other than that, I mean, I don't know.
Spicy, you say.
Melodie, I want to add you as a friend. I really want to. I want to add all y'all as a friend, actually, but
no, she just want to add you. It's okay.
No. I just love her. I just love your insight. Like, I want to pick her brain a little bit.
No, I appreciate. That's why I'm like, Ramone, I already know. Ramone at work with us was always like the connector, like you said, like you're the healer, the connector, like, you know what I mean? You bring good people together. So to have this platform was like another addition to like the quarantine story. You know, I'm officially at like day 60 at home by myself, but the way technology has made me available to other people that I never would have talked to, or like, you know, now we have the time to catch up with friends, family, sitting on FaceTime instead for an hour, you know, like just making those connections, it really does mean a lot, especially for people whose paths may not have crossed, because that does give us the opportunity, like we're all creatives in this room, so it gives us all the opportunity to see how we can grow from one another. So this was a great idea, Ramondo. You should never stop doing this.
I know,
want
right? Bravo.
Yeah, and
Take a bow.
There you go. That works too.
Oh, Joy, I know you. You going to Chicago tomorrow, huh?
Yeah. So I'm pretty nervous.
Yo, bring back a stuffed a Chicago style pizza, please.
Are you flying?
Yes.
Are you gonna wear like a Naomi Campbell hazmat suit?
Oh, I'm about to switch religions. I'm about to be straight up Muslim tomorrow.
Smart decisions. Hair tucked, face tucked.
Yes, it's about to be combat boots, everything.
I heard that.
I know my brother is getting married in October. Well, pending everything, and they were doing they wanted to go to Vegas for the bachelor and bachelorette party, and so I'm in the wedding party, and his fiance, you know, she sent a message like, hey, just want to know who's all interested, and I'm like, I don't know if I can go. I don't know with this virus. I don't know with work. I don't know with school. And I'm also an asthmatic. So and my doctor flat out said people with asthma are not faring well if they get this. So I flat out told her, I probably will not be able to go because there's no way that I can be completely safe on an airplane from this virus.
And that is what I wanted to avoid, because there are some people like, well, it should be okay. But my whole thing is I'm not about to pay for X amount of people to be at my wedding and a bunch of people can't come.
Yeah.
Those plates still get paid for. So if they're like, oh, well, I can't come, then what's the point? I'm not about to have this whole, every time I invite somebody or every time I talk to somebody, oh, well, I don't know if I can come. We're not about to do that. But I know there are people that are determined to get married this year, but I don't want to deal with the coulda, woulda, shoulda, maybe, I don't know. I don't like the uncertainty.
Yeah, right now their date's still on, and they're doing 10/10/2020.
That was supposed to be my date.
Oh, really?
Okay, so that was supposed to be my date because my grandmother just passed away February 22nd, and my grandparents, that's their anniversary. They were 10/10/1955, and so that's what I originally wanted. And everybody was like, this year, 10/10/2020. Oh my God! I'm like, fuck y'all. So I had to choose Halloween. So I was gonna get married on Halloween, but originally my date was supposed to be 10/10. So everybody that knows me knows I love Halloween. It's my thing. So when I told everybody I was getting married on Halloween, they're like, oh, that's perfect. I'm like, no, it's not, because that's not what I wanted.
And it was literally a week before ours.
Yeah, so me, because his fiance is my best friend. That's how we about to be related, brother and sister from other misters and shit. And yeah, our weddings are a week apart. We're
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
this year was gonna be live, man. Damn.
It's funny you say that, Aisha, because I was in the same boat. Okay, so I am the only one in Texas left in my whole family, right? Everyone's in Wisconsin, or my little sister lives in Missouri. My brother lives in Memphis right now. And so everything, like Sarah's family, they can just drive here. Everyone has to come here. And so that has already sets a lot of issues as it is when it comes to that, having people here. And I feel the same way Aisha feel like, yes, you can do the easy thing. And I know I try not to sound a certain way. I already have my views on certain things. I think sometimes relationships are overrated, but that's another conversation for another day. But I will say that it's, for me, yes, people can just go out there. Like, there's people I've had doing weddings for, they had to postpone. There's some people that just go into the courthouse whenever it opens and then get married, the justice of peace and things like that. But I'm in the same boat as Aisha. At first I thought I was getting like kind of backlash until Aisha said, I was like, okay, that saved me, because it's like, yeah, we can do this anytime, but I want to have this get together. I want people to come through and have fun, enjoy themselves, because because people only really come together like this for funerals. And it's like, I want people, I want my family to leave from Madison and Milwaukee, my friends and family, Madison, Milwaukee, other places. And I got a homeboy in California, and come to Houston and kick it. I might feel a certain way about Houston, but you got all the food available that you ain't gonna get anywhere else. You got all the places you can kick it at, all these different things to do. And it's like, that's in jeopardy, especially because most of my family members pretty much have a lot of health issues, because I'm in like the catch-22 phase of my life where I didn't lose a lot of family members when I was younger, so everybody's getting old at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, like, I lost my auntie and uncle this year, and it was my mom's two oldest, so she has her issues, and my auntie lives in Vegas, and she passed, so we were quarantined and we couldn't even go to Vegas. Like, that's how crazy it's been. But it's kind of like, it's like, I'm in the same boat as Aisha. Like, yo, I want to kick it out. Aisha and I have been talking about how ignorant we plan on getting at each other's weddings for so long and embarrassing people.
Like, somebody was asking the question of, like, do you care more about getting married or do you care about the ceremony? I care more about the ceremony, because if I wanted to get married, if that's all I cared about was getting married, then I could have did that a long time ago. We've been together for almost 6 years. I could do that a long time ago. Hell, I could do that tomorrow. I don't care about that. The point, we damn near already married. The point
Ghetto
is,
married.
we wanted to have this thing, this party, this celebration. We wanted all, like, that was the whole thing. We wanted the whole spectacle. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm not trying to half-ass.
And spend a lot of pointless money, too.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, I'm not trying to skimp and cut and blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, well, so-and-so can't come. And I'm not trying to be worried about people, catching a virus at my wedding. Like, fuck all that, okay? Like, I want it to be a normal, nice, beautiful event. And he made a perfect point, because when we first told everybody we were getting married, I was expecting everybody to be like, oh my God. Everybody was hit us with it's about damn time. I mean, shit. Y'all getting married. And then it was like, well, why y'all even having a wedding? And I was like, because every time we get together, it is always for a funeral. I want to get together for a good thing, because I'm like the same thing with like Ramone. Like, all the people start dying around the same time. Like I said, my grandma just passed away earlier this year. So it's like, I want to get the whole family together for something happy and nice and joyous and love. And then Corona said, fuck you.
Yep.
So
but, yeah. To all the single people here, I think your point of views is dope, and I think y'all always been going in the right direction. Like I said, relationships is trash, or don't rush. But in the
I like my relationship. I don't like relationships in general, though.
I will say I didn't find mine until I was done looking, like, because
I was gonna say that
like I know other people would say that to me, and I was like, I don't really know what you're talking about, but it literally happened to me, and I was like, what the fuck? Because I've only really been in 2 serious relationships, and when my first one had ended, it had ended up so badly and so horribly, and it was so shitty. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. I had a contingency plan with my best friend that if we weren't married by the time we were 35, we'd get married together. I was like, I'm just gonna wait till I'm 35 and I'm gonna marry Cortez, and that's that. And but then I literally was done, and we were at a mutual friend's birthday party, and that's when I met him, and I was like, I just had to know him. But I was done, and that's when I found him. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, it's that same thing where, like, people who are trying to get pregnant who can't get pregnant until they stop trying. Mm-hmm. It's one of those, I feel like it's one of those weird cosmic energy things. Like, you have to find yourself and be done looking for your person to find your person.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's what happened to me. I think at around the time I was at, like, I was working out, looking all swole, looking all good, and then, randomly, Sarah and I crossed paths on, it was a dating site. I don't really care for them. You just get these updates. So you just randomly search. And then I just seen, like, it's like, hey, because, it's like, I like doing this. I like doing something. Oh, and mine was just a regular, hey, I really like doing those things too. Different places in Houston, I work out, all these different things. And then we kicked it for like a whole 2 months until we started becoming official. She still joked to this day, if she never would have said anything, we still wouldn't be dating. So, but it was kind of like, it was just, I think that, because I ain't gonna lie to you, when I was out here looking the way I was looking, I was a totally different level of looking person. Man, I thought I was gonna be out here in these streets. And then she was the first catch, and it was like, yep, I've been off the street since. I don't belong to the streets. So
next your ass up.
No, it's all good. She tells me all the time, what would I do in my life without her? I'm like, chill, you know what I'm saying? But I always
that's
been a
basically
person,
her asking, what would she do without you?
Well, see, that's my whole thing is, like, I was a person that used to go to dinner and go to movies by myself. Like, I was like, I just enjoy it. Even just, it's just one of those things. You just know how to enjoy it yourself.
Company. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when you do that, you able to embrace, like, when the right person come around. Even like, I don't even think right person, because I feel like over the years, like, people I've come across, kicking with, things like that, I don't regret none of those. Like, I feel like those are amazing, dope people. And it was just like, yeah, I really have no regrets about those things. Like, because I've always, but people have those things that I don't judge people who are like that, because sometimes our decisions based off of, you know what, I'm going to do it because I do it. Hey, I know this person ain't shit. I know this person ain't bad for me, but I'm about to get into business. I don't care. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with that, because you just got that need. You got to be, you know, it just happens all
That
the
issue
time.
got to scratch.
You know? And so there are people like that, but in the same breath, like, I've always, everything I've done has been strategically like, no, I know what I'm doing. I know, you know, it's like, and I'm fine with it. I'm happy. Like, oh, that was cool. That was great. I got good memories to live off of, you know, and just be like, embrace it, and, you know, things like that. But this is my life now, old ass man. Well, I'm just glad the fact that she didn't think she was going to date anybody younger, and then look at me. So I must be that special.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I once again, I really do appreciate y'all. This means so much, and I plan on doing more. This, I know this is a lot more structured. I know everybody came in and with an open mind and very professional. Later on, we're gonna be ignorant, and, you know, it's gonna sound like a Murray show. All this bleeping is gonna be happening soon, but yeah. And just thank you for taking time out. And once again, thank you very much. And y'all, please be safe out here. And y'all say no to drugs and get money somehow.
Please include in a message.
Yeah.
As I did enjoy like talking to all of you. I'm learning a little bit about everybody and all of their perspectives. So I think it's awesome. Like, I really did enjoy this.
Likewise.
Yeah, same here. It's funny that you said that, Melody, because I was literally going to ask him if he could like put a message with all of us, so it was just easy for us to.
Oh yeah, I plan on posting y'all and marketing y'all, because Aisha got some art y'all must see. Brit actually did a song with some poetry on a beat I made some years ago. I was like, oh shit, she killed that.
Oh my God, I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. And then Alisa out here killing the dance game. Like, I actually did a musical.
I'm a horrible dancer, so I really want to see the dance moves, because I can't.
Yeah.
I'm part of the Rhythmless Nation too, girl, so don't even trip.
So I like through this whole like pandemic, I've had a YouTube channel for a while, but I kind of did nothing with it. But I've started to post more like classes, like on how-to stuff, and I plan on doing more. So I do have a YouTube channel where I post like classes, like pre-recorded classes, but then on like Facebook, like I'll randomly just be like, I'm gonna do a class in 30 minutes, and it's gonna be this if you want to join. Like, and it's just. I
ain't got nothing to do, so I might as well.
But I talked to some of my other artist friends. They're like, you know, you get more people, and more people would take it if you'd like set a date and time weekly. I was like, I know.
I mean, sometimes when people are fickle. Yeah, do it whenever you feel like it.
Fans is trash. They always say they want something and they really don't want it anyway.
Yes. And
then also follow Joy, just because, like, you know, she get her Virgo on. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm a Virgo too. So I always call Joy Rosa Parks. Like, it was just one of those things. Like, you know, but no, but follow everyone, especially with.
Yes, I'm ready to follow everybody.
Yeah, and I think that y'all remember. Y'all remember the book Chicken Soup? This is like the Chicken Soup.
Chicken Soup.
Like, yeah.
Chicken Soup for the soul.
For my soul,
yeah.
Teenage soul, for the adult soul, for the weary soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say,
my grandma
also,
had those.
especially in schools, they are finding some, because I grew up doing theater. Like, I went to college for theater, and then I just like, oh, whatever. But the arts has been so neglected. Like, they're finding different ways to shut those things down. And what people don't realize when it comes to arts is it's allowing people to express their creativity and utilize it in the different worlds that they are in, you know? And so I think this whole group having every bit of creativity to do the things they want to do, it's so refreshing when you see people able to showcase what they're doing for themselves and not have to worry about. And this unconditional love that you're showing to that person doesn't come with a caveat of like, yeah, Aisha, let me see your art, but you got to be in the picture. It's like, no, I just want to, you know, it's like, I just want to do this art. And so, yeah, that. So,
what she say?
She said, yeah.
But you got to be butt ass naked.
Take that ass.
Spread them cheeks.
See what you got.
Don't hide that, divide that. Anyway,
all right now. Tell me how we transitioning, because I'm ready.
It's about to turn into a fan only.
Hey, I swear, I should turn on live, and I'm not even gonna mix. I'm gonna just have a playlist with every nasty club song I remember back in 08, 09, playing in the
The
club.
golden era.
Like, Aisha, when we went to the club for your birthday, remember you came over to the crib? We went, you and your sister, and we was across the street. And I was just like, I wish I was DJing that because his transition was kind of cheeks. But he was playing all them songs where you knew somebody needed a wall or another person, or they would move out the way. I'm about to let these legs go. They was trying to go. And I just stood there like just protecting the situation. Like I ain't trying to move much.
Yeah, he was the bodyguard.
Yeah, people try to come up with you, talk to you, like, hey, like when you a man in a relationship, you really have to be out here like you lost in like lost.
When we went to 6th Street in Austin, for those that don't know about Austin, 6th Street is this long street just filled with bars. It's famous. It's known
like Madison,
for that in Austin.
But in Texas.
Yeah, it's just like this.
Is it kind of like Bourbon? Like Bourbon?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like Bourbon.
It's like Bourbon, but it's like an actual street because Bourbon's a little narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big street and whatever. So Eddie takes me and my friend who gets drunk off of like one shot of tequila, but she's married and she's never been there before. And another one of us, and he was just like sitting visual the whole time, just like not having fun, just like letting us have fun and just like me mugging everybody. And he was just like, you do not understand. He's like, it used to be so fun to go out, but now, especially being a male that cares about these women, and you don't want nothing to happen to them, and you seeing what the other dudes are thinking and trying to do, and you just sitting there like it's not fun. He's like, because girls go out to have fun. They go out to dance. They go out to have fun. Dudes go out for pussy. And so that's all they doing.
Say it.
That's all they doing is trying to get at you, and you looking at them like, nah, back the fuck up. And I'm like, well, thank you for your service. But you now know what we go through all the time.
Well, see, that's the thing about me. Like, I go out and dance, and like I'm just dancing, having a good time. But in the same breath, when I go, I'm super designated driver guy, and I'm kind of bodyguard because I got to be on the lookout because it's really like, I don't know, it's tricky because if you see somebody really dancing, like, oh my gosh, she getting it, like you want to get up on that. But in the same breath, it's kind of like you have to understand. There's some like I just came to have a good time, and the fact that I've never done like let me grab your forearm approach where you walking and somebody grab here. Where that with camera right here.
Yeah. Touch me.
You know what I mean? It's so when you see it and you're around people that you know and rock with and care for, and sometimes they need to be watched over because they kind of want to get drunk because they know you there to help them out and maybe carry them to the cars. But
thank you for so many nights, Ramone. Thank you.
Actually, I had a homegirl. It was Dave, Chrissy, and Christina came into town from Wisconsin. It was St. Patty's Day, 2015, and so when I went to Parkside with them, I remember when one of them got so drunk, like we had to carry it to the car. We had to deal with university police. We had to deal with University of Parkside police. And this was around a time where it was like we was all underage, and I was scared because it was at the Chrissy. I was sitting there thinking, and I was with my homeboy Dave. I was like, yo. It's two black dudes with this drunk white girl that's on the side of the road because we had to get her. I was so scared for my life, yo. But it was funny because good thing her friend was with us. So the same thing happened that year, but unfortunately, so they came into town. We went out to the club, and she didn't drink. Like, she really didn't drink, but she met this dude at the club. So it was me. I'm out there on the floor dancing, hanging out. Dave checking out the scenery. My homeboy Trey was with us, and Christina's with it. And Chrissy was this dude with the VIP area at this bar. At this club. And so, I'm looking around like, yo, where Chrissy at? And I mean, it's kind of known, but like it was drunk. And I guess the dude tried to drug her, but she ended up passing out at the club. And it was a bunch of like security dudes surrounding her trying to figure out who came with her. Like, I was so livid because of that happened. And it was like they had came to Houston. And so that's why the awareness that I have, like you can be 6'4" and be in the club and tallest person in there. There are people who are predators who don't give a fuck, and they will always find an opportunity to take advantage of that. So that's why I've always had to be careful of like, I'll be on the lookout. Like it's just one of those things. And I still try to enjoy myself, but it ain't fun where I might have to put somebody in the full Nelson because they trying to put harm on somebody you came with.
Right.
So last year, actually this time last year, I broke my foot. I was walking and I twisted and my tendon pulled and snapped my fifth metatarsal in half. So I was non-weight bearing for, God, from May 1st till middle of June. I was in a wheelchair, and I love music and I love festivals, and Pride Fest is my like favorite festival ever. I've been going to it since I was 16 years old, and Summerfest is where my partner and I actually met, and music is a big part of our relationship. So we did Pride Fest one day and Summerfest one day, and not only did he have to like, he had to help me navigate, and people are so unaware of when you're in a wheelchair, especially at like a festival like that. So kind of piggybacking of what you were saying with being hyper aware, but also being hyper aware of, he would be steering me and somebody would see me and they'd like walk and crash right into my wheelchair. Just a whole different dynamic of like not being aware, like, and I was completely non-weight bearing. Like I had a scooter, but where I could put my knee on it, but for like doing a big festival ground that would kill my knee that I had to kneel on and my other leg. Like, so wheelchair, and it had to be elevated because of the severity of it. So like people, number one, you have to be vigilant about people trying to hurt you, and then two, you also have to be vigilant about people who are just completely unaware of you and like and your space because they're so involved. And that being temporarily disabled really opened my eyes to that, with how like people just don't see you if you're in a wheelchair or if you're, so piggybacking off of what you had to say.
Think about it. I don't want to fight. Like if I'm somewhere with Sarah and they get rowdy, like I know, like all right, I'm a person who's like shit, because I don't want to fight. I know like I have to sit there and protect the people around me. I hate the idea that I have to stoop down to somebody's level and probably have to whoop somebody's ass. This is not really my vibe. Like I don't like being angry and then you out here turn to a credible hawk and you'll think your significant other goes like, oh my god, my baby know how to protect me, and it's kind of like that wasn't worth it. Like to me, it's not worth. Like I've been so many places where I hate the fact that people want to get in fights. It's just you have to be overprotective. But I'm sorry, I know we rambled off about that, but
yeah, I don't like how you were saying earlier, Alisa, that you don't like confrontations, but you don't mind getting confrontations with strangers. I don't mind confrontations, period. But
she stay ready.
I stay ready, but I don't want to fight. I don't just go around like.
Right.
Fight, nigga. Like I'm not. I don't care.
Right.
I don't want to, but I mean, you run up, you done up. You know what I'm saying? Like that happen.
I got one more meeting, y'all. So I'm gonna exit. But it's been great talking to all of you and meeting you.
Bye. It was great.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
All right. Well, my young women of social media. That's a bad thing. Young men, women in social media. Sounds like a bad comedy tour. So
yeah.
A conference.
Yeah, I will make sure I tag everyone, and I'm gonna maybe post a nice little snippet of the video, and I'm trying to figure out different ways to do this. I didn't know if I was going to change the Google Hangout or like it seems like Zoom is pretty solid, and try to do it live on Facebook at the same time. So. I'll try to figure these things out. But once again, thank you. I'll be able to tag and let everybody know. Y'all be able to connect. I know some on Facebook, some be on Instagram more than others. So I make sure I do all those things and
fabulous.
Follow.
Thank you.
I will say this though about the one thing that I don't like about Google Hangouts. With Zoom, you can you can set it to do the waffle. On Google Hangouts, it won't do the waffle. So it'll be like, it'll change to the person talking big on the screen, and then you'll have like a row of people on the side. So if you have more than like 4 people, Google Hangouts is not the greatest, because we did the big family thing for Easter with like 20 different people, and I could only see 4 people on the side and then the one that was talking, and there's no option for like a waffle layout compared to Zoom. Just a FYI on that.
Appreciate that, because I was trying to search earlier what to do. So Thank you. I feel better about this. And I'll be able to hit up everyone when I come with different subjects. So get your ratchet and ignorantness, and you're ready to just get ignorant and probably mix in with some dudes, and hopefully we can all behave. So
I had a lot of fun.
thank you. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Lovely meeting all of you.
Bye.
Nice
You
meeting
too.
all of you.